Red hot comic book movie news. Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. The Weekly Planet. The Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet. Well, how far is your microphone away from you, Mason?
So close.
Now it's close. He wasn't close before, believe me, everybody. Where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, my co-host, barely professional, all of the time, Nick Mason.
That's right. That's what you love about me.
Right in if that's what you love about him.
I'm the baby.
Oh, God.
That little dinosaur?
I do.
Show Dinosaurs?
Yeah, you got to
Look,
love me and whatever.
Yeah. If you want to, get me in a real gotcha situation, James, you're gonna have to set up video stuff because there's no way to prove that the microphone wasn't really far away.
That's
from
true
me.
because you pulled it in close before.
No, it didn't. It was always close.
Oh.
It was close. It was close to my heart, like the listeners. See, now everyone's on my side and not on your side.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so mad.
You're an old grump. You're an
I am
old mad grump, and I'm the baby. You gotta love me.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, Mason, thank God we'll be joined later by people more professional than you.
Thank God, honestly. Look, I'm not disagreeing.
A couple of the Aunty Donna fellas are going to be stopping by to talk about big time cameos in movies and
That's
just whatever comes up.
Having a bit of a muck around.
Just having a bit of a muck around, which I'm really looking forward to. And so is everybody
Speaking
else.
of professionalism,
yeah,
we assumed that the movie Renfield was going to be coming out this week
That's
in
what we were gonna
Australia
talk about.
because it's coming out everywhere else in the world. So we're like, we'll get the boys, the Aunty Donna boys,
Tell
to
them
watch
to
the
go and
movie
see it.
Renfield. And then it turns out
it's not out for 6 years here.
Hollywood's given us a real switcheroo, and it's not out till May, I think. End of May.
School holidays, that's why.
Oh, okay, right.
They got us.
Yeah, school kids are going to love watching that Nicolas Holtz.
No, we're in school holidays.
Oh, we're in school holidays
Yeah.
now.
You
Okay.
don't know that.
No, I don't
but
know
I
that.
know that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what else we're talking about before they get here, Mason?
What's that?
Mario being big movie.
Oh, big
We're going to
Mario
talk
movie.
about an update on the El Muerto movie.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Oh, you're saying it's going ahead.
Yeah,
It's going ahead double.
they're making two
Okay,
back
great.
to back.
Based on the two issues that he appeared in.
Exactly. There's trailers ahoy for Dracula on a Boat, the Continental, the Marvels. We've also got some casting for both Blade and Deadpool 2. News in terms of... Oh, it's more casting in terms of DC casting for the new DCU, Mason.
Oh, yes.
Big changes over at HBO Max, including a number of shows and movies announced.
And it's just called Max now.
And it's just called Max now. And
in the tradition of Stan
I
and
love
Dave if you're in the UK.
Oh, Dave, yeah. Is that a Red Dwarf reference?
No, I think it's just because they're like, I think when they
So
start...
the joke is like, this is for you. A guy
a
called
Dave. Yeah, you're a Dave. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And MGM stuff as well. The brand stuff on the back end. It sounds more interesting than it is. It's not that interesting. It's more depressing.
Yeah.
It's not that depressing, but it is interesting.
Pretty depressing.
Here we go, Mason. So
Once you factor in, everything else.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty depressing.
It's pretty depressing. So, Mason, Mario is the biggest movie ever.
It's true.
I'm mad about it.
Oh, yes.
Because it's... What is it this week? I can't remember. What's the narrative now on Mario?
It's anti-woke.
It's anti-woke, and
Yeah.
so that's why it's so big and people are mad about
I'm flocking
it.
to it because they're like, finally a movie that's anti-woke is the narrative, depending on the videos that YouTube is serving you.
Sure,
that might
absolutely.
be the narrative, yes.
Yeah, because it's interesting because initially it was too woke.
That's right.
Because of the Princess Peach was all girl boss, but now that it's doing well, it's like, this is ours now. This is ours, and you're mad about it.
Yeah.
You're mad that people are flocking to a franchise that's been popular for 40 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So not surprising, it immediately became in the first weekend the biggest video game adaptation of all time. The last numbers I checked, it was somewhere around $660 million worldwide
More than
already.
Assassin's Creed.
More than Assassin's Creed somehow.
With Michael Fassbender,
Michael
I think.
Fassbender somehow. Yeah, that's right. And maybe Marianne Cotillard.
Is Michael Fassbender married to Alicia Vikander?
Yes.
So they're both done
video game characters. I stand them.
in
Mason.
love.
In
They're-
love.
I stand them also. I ship them and I stand them. Not their real relationship. I
I
can
don't
take or
care
leave
about
that.
that.
But what if Assassin's Creed kissed Lara Croft? Can you imagine that?
You should have said, what if Assassin's Creed kissed Tomb Raider, Mason?
No. That doesn't make any sense.
I guess it
No
doesn't.
sense at all.
So, yeah, there you go. This will continue to do well for a while. I don't know when.
Oh, what's in this tomb that I'm raiding currently? Oh, it's Assassin's Creed. He's in a sarcophagus or whatever.
No, he's in a stack of hay.
He would be in a stack of hay. Ooh, ancient hay. Oh, this is from 1,000 years ago. Ooh, what's in here?
Boom! It's me, Assassin's Creed. This hay left me perfectly preserved for 1,000 years. So yeah, there you go. So this will have a run for a while, and it'll probably hit $1 billion at some point. Could be the biggest movie of the year.
Well,
Depending.
it's fortunate that they haven't decided to give it a 2-week run in cinemas and then dump it on streaming.
Yeah, very smart. Yeah, but there
As
you
far
go.
as we know.
As far as we know. So there you go. We got a review. We talked about it last week. We thought it was fine. Yeah, so you
It's
know,
true, yes.
make it out what you will.
Yeah.
Good kids movie though. Like if you got kids, they'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or if you're an adult man, I see your comments. I know you're mad. You're mad about it. You might be like, "What did you expect, Citizen Kane?"
Yes, I did, quite frankly, yes.
It's weird that it's like,
That's what Chris Pratt promised me. He said...
"Why would anybody? Nothing, Citizen Kane. Like what a weird thing to jump to." We talked about this before the show, and you were like, "No, like Puss in Boots, like."
That's pretty good, I've
Like
heard.
that one. Yeah. That one's fine.
Yeah.
Just something as good as that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's doing super well, and I'm mad about it, Mason. I'm mad about it. Anyway, this is via Time Magazine.
Oh, yes.
They spoke to Bad Bunny about his El Muerto movie that's in the works. Now, just for a bit of background, last year Sony Pictures announced that he would star in a Spider-Man spin-off called El Muerto as Marvel's first Latino superhero.
And, of course, Spider-Man spin-off is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. He was a character who appeared in, I think, 2 or 3 issues of...
Batman.
That's right. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I think, which was one of the spin-off comics, It was
Exactly.
around for a while and then disappeared.
That's right.
But yeah, they're like, well, we got to get this, make this happen,
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not anymore, or it's on hiatus.
Wow, let me talk about it, Mason. So at the time, it was said that the role was perfect for him as he grew up watching wrestling and called his 2021 WWE WrestleMania debut as the best day of his life.
And he named his children El Muerto.
My goodness.
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
But during their interview, the Time Magazine one, he feigned confusion when asked about the movie and said no filming had taken place yet. I mean, that we know.
Then he said there was a gas leak, and he's like, oh, I'm getting quite lightheaded.
His publicist said that the movie was at a standstill.
Sorry, I'm going through a tunnel. But you're right here, Bad Bunny. No, I'm going through a tunnel. You're breaking up, actually. Yeah. Sorry.
I'll call you back. But then his publicist said that it's at a standstill, but then later clarified that it's in development.
Okay.
So I think
All right.
they should have said, we better say it's in development. Don't say standstill. But a representative from Sony, actually, this is interesting, declined to comment
Interesting.
on the record.
On one of the things they are supposedly making.
Yeah, so there you
The
go.
people sort of behind the nuts and bolts of the whole situation decline to comment. That's really interesting.
I think that's good.
I think it's good too.
Might
It's
be
a
going
good
through a
sign.
tunnel, so that's okay.
Yeah, Sony is probably going through a tunnel, yes.
Well, they've got
Sorry, the building's going through a tunnel. Sorry.
Madam Web coming out, speaking of Spider-Man spin-offs.
Allegedly.
And they've got Craven coming out. They've
Allegedly,
both,
yeah.
at the very least, filmed. So,
Yeah.
So that's good.
At the very least, we've seen Aaron Taylor Johnson running down a street wearing a shirt and tie or whatever,
Yep.
looking sort of like he's in an action sequence.
Or he's running from a funeral.
He might be running from a funeral, that's right.
Yeah, so there you go.
Maybe he was going through a tunnel.
He might be.
Yeah.
So do you think this is going to happen?
Yeah.
Do you?
Maybe not with Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Maybe once they've...
I don't know. I'm not in the rap game, Mason. How famous is Bad Bunny?
Very famous.
More famous than, say, the guy who wears the clock?
Flavor Flav
Yeah.
from Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, more famous than that, I think.
More
yeah.
famous than Vanilla Ice?
More famous than Vanilla Ice, yes.
Does he also wear a clock?
Vanilla Ice, no, he doesn't.
Does he have a watch?
I've never looked at.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
But like he will get. I think he got for Coachella. I think he got $5 million for like one set.
Oh my God.
So like 40 minutes at Coachella, $5 million. So
Let me check how many Instagram he has.
he'd have so many Instagram.
It says none.
That can't be right. Are you sure you're looking?
He's got 2 posts. Maybe he deletes and he's got 45 million followers. But, it's probably bots. Probably bots.
It's
mate.
probably bots.
If I don't know that much about him, that means he's probably not that famous.
That's very
If I've
true,
heard
isn't
of
it?
him but don't know that much about him.
That's you in all the Twitter comments when it's like, Taylor Swift releases a new album and there's some comment about, well, I've never heard of it.
I don't even care
I don't
about
know.
it.
Why don't you maybe tell me something relevant or whatever?
I don't care.
I don't care.
I like real music.
That's right.
That is me.
Yeah, that is you. And good for you. You keep engagement going on social
What happened
media.
to real music?
That's right.
Why am my music all on golden oldies now? When did that happen?
Taylor Swift, what about James Taylor?
What about him?
What about him is a great question. Still alive? I think so.
Yeah. Taylor Swift, what about Taylor Kitsch? What about him, Mason?
What about his folk album?
Anyway,
I don't know. Look, did you get that? You did because I sent it to you. Did you get a notification from Disney Plus this week?
Did you send this to me?
I did. I sent you a screenshot. Disney Plus. I got thinking about this because you said Taylor Kitsch. And I'm like, stream renovations. Jeremy Renner gives old buses new life.
Yeah.
What a sales pitch.
What a sales pitch.
What a sales pitch.
They obviously worked backwards from that, right? They went, what's his name? There we go.
Yeah.
We've got some old buses. Can we make this work? Yes,
Yeah.
they can. But he was up and about this week. He went to the
Yeah.
premiere, so good on him.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great. That's really good to see.
He broke like 30 bones or something in his body.
Too many.
Too many. But yeah, look, from what I've seen of the show, it's kind of interesting. Like he's hanging out with Anthony Mackie. I forgot they were in the Hurt Locker.
Must be a pretty big locker to get two bloody blokes in there. You reckon?
Yes. Yeah.
They'd have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a good movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember liking it. Yeah. Anyways, Trailers Ahoy Mason. Which
Taylor's Ahoy.
very good. Which is very apt also because our first one is the trailer for Dracula on a Boat.
That's right. Or as it's actually called, Voyage of the Demeter.
The last Voyage of the Dementor. Dementor.
No, not that.
No?
No.
Dementor.
Yes.
So basically, if you don't know the premise, Dracula
Yes.
in the book,
Yes.
he travels
book Dracula.
In the book Dracula's, he travels from Transylvania to London or whatever.
That's right.
And he does it on a boat. And then all the people on the boat, they start getting big time Draculaed.
Yeah, that's right.
And they also did an episode of it recently on Dracula Has an iPad.
That's right, yeah.
And so this movie is just that particular part of the narrative. And it
Yeah.
looks very good.
It does
I
look
the
very
look
good,
of it.
yeah.
It's got Liam Cunningham from Game of Thrones.
As the titular Dracula?
No, Mason, the Dracula looks like a big monster Dracula as opposed to a man Dracula. Think they're going to do sexy Dracula at any point? Do you reckon there's going to be a reveal that one of them is like the Dracula as well?
Yeah,
but we don't
maybe.
know which one is the Dracula.
Yeah.
Because Dracula can be anything. He can be
Yeah.
a wolf, cloud of smoke, sexy man, ugly man, sexy man again, pile of dead rats, pile of live rats, a lizard maybe.
Mix of live and dead rats. But in this instance, it's one of the passengers and his name's Dave Dracula. So it was Dave all along. Yeah, it was me.
I was Dave Dracula.
Yeah. We thought you were just a regular guy.
No.
We had a conversation about football. You betrayed me.
I don't like football even.
Dave Dracula.
Do you think that's what it's going to be, though? Because normally, like, I know when Dracula has an iPad, he goes as like he travels as himself and a fancy passenger.
Yeah.
But he also does his Dracula ring. Do you think?
I reckon this is probably he's in a coffin in storage, and I think he might be sort of Nosferatu style vampire the entire time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be cool, man. From the director of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, but which by all accounts is a fun little horror jaunty romp.
Rip-roaring adventure.
There you go. We also got a trailer for the next John Wick adventure.
That's right.
The Continental.
Well, not the next John Wick adventure.
The little
John Wick's not
Wick.
in it.
Little John
The
Wick.
Continental from the world of John Wick, the origin of Batman's butler.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
So
So it's a prequel.
yeah.
It's set around the Continental Hotel in the 70s.
Yeah, man.
They got a bit of Donna Summer in the soundtrack. That one that goes.
No, it's the 70s, baby. What happened to music set after that era that I know, mate?
Like James Taylor.
Like James Taylor.
Great
You know?
question. Very good question. How do you feel about this? I said, have you seen the trailer? You said, no, I'll watch it now. And
Yeah.
you watched it and you went, this looks like a fan film.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
I did. And I don't think it looks fine, but I wouldn't have even known it was John Wick also. It didn't feel John Wick.
No,
you know?
can tell that Chad Stahelski and his whole cinematography team and his lighting team
All his
aren't,
mates.
as far as I know, are not involved in this because it looks like TV.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be compelling. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It
I
doesn't.
like those two characters.
If you set this side by side with pretty much any of the John Wick movies, you wouldn't go, oh, I see.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Big CW vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Which could be good.
apparently Gotham Knights is not as bad as we'd all predicted. The
Well,
current,
it's rating well, apparently.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
yeah.
It's not about whether I've seen it.
That's right.
It's about whether or not it makes money. Mm-hmm. So there you go. The Continental. We also got a trailer, speaking of the movie starting with The Marvels,
That's right.
which stars all the Captain Marvels coming together for a big-time adventure.
And speaking of people coming together, a bunch of people have, of course, come together to make this the most downvoted trailer of all time or something. Or the most downvoted Marvel trailer, I think, perhaps. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Good work, everybody. You
That's
did it.
hard.
Yeah.
That's hard work, man.
Because this one's woke.
I mean, yeah, it's got Brie Larson.
It's got Brie Larson.
Mate, everybody who makes those videos, you should be thanking Disney for making this movie.
That's what I've been telling. I don't know if I've said this in the podcast, but I've definitely said this to you. All of these men, and sometimes women, I guess.
No. I mean, maybe there's one.
There's probably one. They should be tithing Brie Larson like 10 to 20% of their income.
Completely agree.
Because if she didn't exist...
She doesn't even do anything.
That's what I'm saying, but then they can make content out of that. Oh my God, Brie Larson didn't do anything this week. What, does she hate the fans? Seems that way. But for like they wouldn't have jobs if
I completely agree.
If Brie Larson did or didn't do things, say things. So
you could hate anybody this much, really. I mean, unless it was for money. You know?
Especially or it's very
like,
personal.
Yeah, like so inoffensive. Like, I just don't I do not get it. Anyway, I thought the trailer was all right.
I think it looks like a lot of fun. All right, here's some stuff about the trailer.
All right.
So the plot basically seems to be that the three Marvels, Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, who Spectrum, Photon, not sure. Their powers have become entangled somehow, so every time they use them, they swap over.
Quantum entanglement.
Quantum entanglement. That seems like a bit of a fun. And it looks
seems woke.
It does seem woke.
Seems woke, Mason.
Yeah, that's right. That seems like a super fun mechanic for the movie. If that's utilized well, I think that should be interesting.
Some cool teleportation stuff.
Yeah. But it seems to kick off because so Saber.
Yep.
Which is the S.H.I.E.L.'s space-based organization in the movies, which in the comic books is SWORD, but they already used SWORD.
They used
so
SWORD
they did a new one.
They used SWORD in again.
Well, WandaVision.
Okay, right, yeah.
They're investigating
Sabra.
Yeah, they're investigating the hyperspace gates that everybody uses in like the Guardians movies. Everybody else in the universe except us uses these hyperspace gates.
These cool gates.
They are pretty, those hexagonal kind of gates, what have you.
Yep.
Few things. Fury's back.
He's back, if it is him.
If it is him.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because we just got a trailer for Secret Invasion in which they're like, this is maybe his last ride. What's going on with Fury, whatever.
What's going on?
Yeah. Does he need a third gravestone this time around? But maybe this is set before that.
Also, I don't think Nick Fury is going to like die for good at all. Even if he dies in his show, it won't matter.
Yeah.
He'll come back as a robot or a clone or just him. It's fine. Yeah, anyway,
That's
go on.
True. You thought I died and I did, but I'm back. What? You thought I died and I did, but I'm back. Are you going to explain that? No.
You're going to explain
I don't need to. I don't need to because I'm usually not the main character, so it actually doesn't matter how I came back.
I'll just pop up and people go, yeah, he was in. Yeah, he was another one. I've seen him before.
He had a shimmer to him, so nanotechnology or something, or a Skrull, or time travel, hologram. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
He's not the main guy usually.
He's not the main guy.
We get a new accuser, I think, because obviously
Lee
Pace has run the accuser. He got exploded for sure. But she's back.
He did explode in Guardians.
Yeah.
But he was in Captain Marvel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
briefly.
Yeah. That's
not
right.
much to him in that one.
We can tell because she's got the hammer.
Yeah,
which is what they're all about.
Yeah, I agree.
What else? What else exciting happens in that trailer?
Well, it seems as if.
Yes.
So, what do you think triggers the? So, do you think it's the gate that triggers it, or do you think it's the bracelet?
It could be that bracelet. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm just giving it a skim.
Because the accuser has at one point in the trailer, the accuser I think is wearing one of those bracelets.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's the second bracelet.
There's supposed to be two, isn't there?
Yes.
Oh, the cat comes back. That's cool.
That's right. Goose.
Yeah. How is this the the least? I mean, I know why. It's the one that's downvoted the most.
Yeah, we know why.
Yeah, but it's just like skimming through this, it looks fine, and maybe it'll be terrible. I don't fucking know.
I thought it looked a lot of fun. I watched it a couple of times. I'm like, this looks like a bunch of fun.
I think
maybe it's the Beastie Boys behind it.
Maybe it is.
You know?
I think it will be interesting this year because the comic book movies so far they haven't been doing very well at all. It was Ant-Man 3 and Shazam 2, and to be fair, both not great movies.
Correct. Yes.
But I think depending on how well this and Guardians 3 goes, I think that it won't. I don't think it'll do $1 billion like the first one did because the first one came out between Avengers movies.
That's true, yeah.
But that, so automatically people, I'm sure, will be like, see, whatever, it's bad and whatever. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think also because we don't really know where this whole thing is building to.
That's true.
And there's no hype for it. Yeah, it's definitely not going to do as well as the first one. But I think, but if Guardians doesn't do very well, then that will be
Very
interesting.
telling,
But
yes.
yeah, we'll just see what happens, won't we, Mason?
We sure will.
I think it's out in November. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, yes.
Yeah, so there you go. So we've got a couple of Marvel movies in between now and then, or at least one and maybe a show or something, don't we?
That's right.
Maybe some Star Wars scattered about and an Indiana Jones movie.
That's right.
Which I know you keep saying, oh, James, why are you so excited? Let me kill your excitement for a new Indiana
I've never
Jones
said
movie.
that.
You can't kill my excitement for it, Mason.
Okay.
I am excited for new Indiana Jones movies. Don't be such a hater.
I'm not a hater. I mean, I am a hater, but not for
but
Indiana
not of this
Jones.
specifically.
Yeah, I'm one of the original haters, but not for Indiana Jones, yeah. But anyway, yeah, look, what a fun cast, and I'm glad to see Iman Vellani in the movie. Isn't that a bit of fun?
Yeah, do you think you're having it? Because, I know Ms. Marvel as the show, people liked it.
Yep.
But I'd imagine like most people,
Yeah.
maybe not most, but a lot of people haven't seen it.
What are these guys? They look like putties. They look like putties from Power Rangers.
Oh, I think they're just generic people that Brie Larson was fighting on.
Yeah, well,
somewhere.
they could be Kree because there's a guy with human skin and there's a guy with blue skin.
Creed,
So.
Scott Strapp, and the other one.
Yes, I think it's probably the band Creed.
They're back together?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know, they've broken up.
Yeah.
Always together in my heart.
Alter Bridge.
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry, I forgot about Alter Bridge. Yeah, it looks cool. A lot of fun. Now, I suggested a trailer for you, James.
You did, and I watched it also.
And it's called Fool's Paradise.
Is this your one bit of news?
No, I have another bit of news.
Oh, my God.
But one, it's called Fool's Paradise. It's written and directed and starring Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep. And Pacific Rim 1 and 2.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
And it's like a Charlie Chaplin. You
Yeah.
said a Mr. Bean movie, which is probably
I
accurate
think
also.
the idea that it's kind of set in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It feels like old Hollywood, but it's modern day. So I think it's probably
Yeah.
more kind of that. I think Charlie Chaplin, and he's got a hat. So
He has a little hat.
Mr. Bean.
And probably a funny little walk also.
Yeah.
But it's Charlie Day plays a sort of a mute man in a mental institution who gets thrown out into the street because they don't have the money to treat him.
That's
and then
fun.
he looks identical to an actual movie star, and
Yeah.
so he fills in for him in a movie, and then he sort of gets big in Hollywood, and everybody wants to know who this new guy is, and I don't know, looks fun and weird.
It does look fun.
I don't know if it's going to do well, but it's yet another role for the late Ray Liotta. He's in it.
Couldn't believe it when I saw him in it
Just
again.
a bunch of Edie
How
Falco.
many movies did he make?
Yeah.
But you think it's Ray Liotta's last one, right?
It might be, yeah.
Okay, let me
He's probably
check
doing
that.
a voice role. He's probably Batman in something.
Might be Batman or
Yeah.
something, yeah. My goodness. So this, I guess, was filmed a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta died in 2022.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
But Jason Sudeikis is in it, Edie Falco, Ken Jeong, just a bunch of looks very strange.
No, he has a movie called The Substance coming out after that, and then he's got a movie called Dangerous Waters coming out after that, and then he's got a movie called Clash coming out after that.
Wow.
So, yeah. He's going to have movies coming out for the next 4 years.
Yeah, right.
So good on him. Good on you, Ray Liotta.
Yeah. But apparently Charlie Day sent script pages to Guillermo del Toro, who gave him notes on it, which is fun.
Cool.
So,
Oh, yeah, because Pacific Rim.
yeah,
That
that's
makes
right.
sense. Okay,
There you
great.
go. So,
Cool. Great stuff, Mason.
anyway, can't wait to see that on streaming in several years because it won't get a
It
cinema
won't
release
absolutely
in
will not
Australia,
get a cinema
probably.
release here. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you want to do some casting news?
Yes. Oh, here's one bit of casting news.
What?
Yeah.
What? Go on.
Oh, Andy Serkis is back for Andor season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Is that good or bad?
I think it's going to be good. I think a lot.
I mean, it's a great show.
yeah.
So
Look, I think people have jumped to some conclusions here
what's that?
that he's going to be like, I can't swim, but I can fly, or whatever.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
And he-
I got jet legs.
I like jet. Now that I'm out of the prison, I've got jet legs.
Oh, so you didn't have jet legs in the prison?
We had him, but I think maybe they
You
were.
forgot.
Yeah, I think he forgot about the jet. Now that I've got some sea air in my lungs, I remember I have jet legs.
Yeah.
No, I think it's probably going to be a flashback.
Okay.
I think Andor is going to think back to his time in the prison, and Andy Serkis will probably have some.
Remember that
have some memories.
terrific prison arc that I did?
That's right, yeah.
Some prestige television. Let's think about that for a second.
That's right.
No, I think he's just going to come back.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also,
Which is fine.
it's fine. I mean, it's also
I did like the idea, if he has come back,
Yeah.
of just like, what happened to this guy?
Yeah.
He probably died?
Well,
we'll never know.
We'll never know. But I mean, also, it's not that he fell off the prison and he drowned.
No.
I mean, maybe they just captured him and they're going to
They
get.
shut down the facility and they put him in another prison and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got out of that one or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah. Cool. Remember how they were building the Death Star? That was the reveal. The very thing that they wanted to destroy and get the plans for. That was crazy.
I mean, if they didn't make it,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have had to destroy it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. What was he thinking, making the Death Star?
Right. Come on, Andor.
Come on, Andy Serkis.
Damn, dude. Come on.
Used
Guys.
your rocket legs to knock all that over. Yeah. Anyway, cool. That's cool, I think, Mason.
I think it's cool.
Probably. Yeah. But yeah, maybe it is a flashback. Maybe you're right. Well, it's one of two things, really, isn't it? So, yeah.
Oh, also, Andy Serkis could just be like, he could be a CGI guy.
He'd be a CGI. Oh, yeah,
He
exactly.
could be a motion capture guy.
He could be a Snoke again.
He could be a Snoke again.
Or a monkey. Or Gollum. Or one of the other.
Yeah,
or that
yeah.
video game character he did. Whatever one it was.
Do you think, because so it's Tony Gilroy who's behind Andor.
Yeah.
Do you think he has any kind of, do you think there's any kind of clause in his contract where Disney can go, we need you to put a Snoke in this, so you're putting Snoke in this?
Mate, I'm sure there's certain beats that he has to hit, but it seems as if they've mostly left him alone.
Yeah.
I don't
And he
know,
has
though.
mentioned in interviews, this is a show that is sort of free of continuity and it's not going to be Easter eggs and it's not going to
No,
be...
but it also is like, it adheres to a bunch of very specific lore stuff that he doesn't have to do.
That's true.
Which I know a lot of big nerds appreciate. So, yeah, that's nice. Yeah. I think it's what I think for the people who get the most control on these things. I think they bring their own narrative and they're like, well, I need a character who's this and this, and like, yeah, we got that guy's in the comics. It's Saw Gerrera or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
right.
normally how it works. If that's the amount of creative control you generally get, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. You saved Rogue One.
I thought you'd know.
No, I know, but I just don't want to tell you.
Okay, great.
More casting news, Mason.
Yes, please.
Via Deadline, Mia Goth has been cast in Blade. I think she might be Lilith or something.
Okay, great.
Who's
Who's that then?
Is a bloody vampire woman or something?
Love it.
Yeah. Lilith Drake is a vampire, not a demon. She's from comicbook.com. She's one of Marvel's most popular vampires.
Never heard of her.
So, yeah, there's also a couple of other Liliths in the Marvel universe, but it's probably the Dracula one, I'd imagine.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. That's a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
And also via Deadline, Marina Baccarin is back in Deadpool 2, as is Stefan Kapakic as Colossus.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Delightful.
They're really using that old Deadpool continuity, you know what I mean?
Sure are,
That's what
yeah.
I like both of those characters.
Yeah.
So that's cool, Mason, and cool and makes sense.
And you also like that in that continuity, Ryan Reynolds is canonically dead
Yes.
because he gets shot in the head.
That's my favorite thing about that movie. He's dead.
Did you see Natalie Portman has a show that's like, I've got a soccer team now.
So it's
Seen
like
it?
Bandit like Beckham, but she's a
Yeah.
Is she a soccer coach or is she in the team?
No, but it's like a reality show. Like it's
What?
like Welcome to Wrexham,
Oh.
but it's women's soccer.
No, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
What
Or
is-
baseball. Might be baseball.
A TV show, hang on.
Yeah. But is that the new thing? Celebrities buy a,
Well, they're cheap,
a sports
right?
team, I
Well,
guess.
maybe not cheap, but bloody have a look at this, mate.
Okay. Unless I dreamed it, but I don't think I did dream it. I think this is real.
Is it out yet?
Yeah. Don't know.
Is it we are completely beside ourselves?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, I'm never going to find this, Mason.
I'll find it using my powers of observation.
Angel City.
That's the one.
Tell the story of the team's first season in the National Women's Soccer League. She'll also executive produce. There you go.
But isn't that a weird? Is that what they do
the thing
now?
what people do
Just
now.
celebrities
They buy a team and then
buy
or whatever, or they're involved in a team. They're doing they're mighty ducks in it. The problem with that is that you can never ensure that they win for real. You just buy a pack of losers.
It's true. But then you spin the narrative like they're a bunch of losers. You spin that narrative.
Spin it.
And then it's just Natalie Portman going, God damn, you guys suck.
What a bunch of
Can't
losers.
believe I bought this team of losers.
Should have bought that team of winners that were
right.
winning already.
Yeah. Should have bought the LA winners.
More casting news, Mason. This is for, remember the, what's that Freak Commandos show that they're doing for DCU?
Creature Commandos?
Creature Commandos, there you
Yeah.
go. Here's the cast.
Uh-oh.
And I wouldn't be excited. No.
You wouldn't be excited?
It wouldn't be unexpected to see some of these appear in live action on
That's
screen.
right.
David Harbour is Eric Frankenstein. Adira Varma is Bride of Frankenstein. Here's one for you. Frank Grillo is Rick Flag Sr.
Interesting.
So
okay.
that'll definitely carry over, I feel.
Yeah, right.
Zoe Chow is Nina Mazursky, who's the amphibious scientist.
Okay.
Weasel's going to be in it, played by Sean Gunn, who's also going to voice GI Robot, and Alan Tudyk will play Dr. Phosphorus.
Love it.
He does a doctor kind of voice, doesn't he? Like
He sure does, yeah.
He
He can do many voices.
He
I've heard
does.
him.
We saw him once
Did we?
at a Star Wars
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was
like-
at the IMAX.
He was at the IMAX for
He wasn't in the movie.
No, he wasn't in the movie. He was
just there.
Was it a Guardians movie or something?
Might have been. He was just in town.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool.
It said he was like 6'1" on his IMDb. No, he wasn't 6'1", Mason.
Interesting.
Is all I'm saying.
All right.
Is all I'm saying. So if you ever see Alan Tudyk, just call him a big liar. No, a small liar.
That's
a
right.
slightly smaller liar than on his
that's
IMDb.
right. Wow.
So there you go. Good casting. Like all of that.
Resident Alien, more like Resident Liar.
I should watch season 2 of that. I liked season 1. Did you like Resident Alien?
I did. It was good.
Cool. Good stuff. Mason, what do we love?
I should also finish The Man Who Sold the World.
Which one's that again?
The one with
How much you get for it?
Is that what it was called? The one with Chiwetel Ejiofor.
It's a sequel to the the Bowie one.
The Bowie one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? I've forgotten. Anyway, didn't finish it, but it was
Didn't
good.
finish it?
Yeah.
Okay. Mason.
Yes.
What do we love?
Can you narrow it down?
Brands
money.
that we recognize.
Money.
No, brands that we recognize.
That could lead to money, though.
That often does.
Yeah.
Depending on the brand.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Also, all our listeners.
But the brands mostly.
Yeah,
recognizing a
I'm
brand.
not going to lie to our listeners that we love brands more.
Yeah, but we'll tell you that it's you, and we'll say that. But it's brands.
But it's brands, yeah. Yeah. So when we start recording, we'll tell the listeners that we love them more.
Yeah.
But actually, we love brands.
Mason, what do you love?
Brands?
No, it's the listeners.
Oh, the listeners.
Same. But you know what else I love?
What do you love? What do you love a little bit less?
Yeah, thank you.
Wink.
Brands that we recognize.
Yeah.
Got a bit of news here in regards to HBO Max, which is now going to relaunch as Max.
Whoa.
And I think
Max, the home of HBO or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Incredible.
Max, where you can watch all the HBO stuff. So it's launching May 23rd, not in Australia, because all of those properties are tied up with Murdoch until 2025.
Terrific stuff.
But that's enough time for him to die, so that's pretty good.
I don't know. I read an article about it. He's pretty sturdy, this guy.
Oh,
he broke up with his Jerry Hall, his wife, via text.
Yeah.
He's like,
I forgot.
It was like
Forgot that I'm married.
It was like we've had some fun times, but I've got a lot of stuff to do. Anyway, the lawyers will be in touch.
Anyways, get Mick Jagger to disconnect all the security cameras that I put in your house.
Yeah.
That's a true thing that happened.
Yeah, it's
What a
great.
fascinating read that
Amazing.
article was.
Yeah.
Terrible man. At least consistently terrible. I'll give him that.
That is true.
He's never been good even for a second. Anyway, so one of the things that was confirmed was the Harry Potter reboot.
Yes.
It is going to be a faithful adaptation of the beloved Harry Potter book series, and it's going to be a decade long.
No, it's not.
Maybe. Bold,
yeah. But all the kids are going to age out.
mean.
They're going to age out.
Don't you think that's mean to do to a kid?
Yes, because
like a movie is like,
oh, it's a commitment.
well, yeah.
That's mean, but also it's mean because every single one of these kids, every interview is going to be like, what do you think about J.K. Rowling and her views on everything? And they're going to be like, we don't know, we're 8. And it's like, well, you should know.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I think initially, at the very least, it'll do well because, and you know, if it's good, and I don't know.
Right.
I guess people will be interested in this, but
guess,
wow, they went with this direction. I do think it is that thing of like they couldn't get the cast back to do the sequels.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I also think that like if this doesn't do well, they're probably going to go back to that and be like, well, this is the Harry Potter you love.
Yeah.
You know. Remember this idiot we cast as Harry Potter? Forget him.
Yeah.
And there'll be in 100 like, remember this idiot? Here he is now. He sucks now and he sucked then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not to get too political, but they're like, his girlfriend's like 2 inches taller than him. Pretty sus, isn't it though?
Isn't it though?
His pregnant girlfriend's 2 inches taller and probably a man. Settle down.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier it's going to be an accurate whatever to the books. Weren't the previous ones supposed to be accurate?
Yeah, but they just left out stuff because they're movies.
But I think it's going to be interesting that they're going to have to add in all the stuff that has been added retroactively over the years, like Hermione's black.
Yeah.
Because if she...
Well, she is in the stage play.
Well, I don't know, because I've only seen most of the movies and read none of the books. But like...
Is that all?
That's all, I think. But as I understand it, in the books, Hermione takes a stand against slavery.
Yeah.
And everybody ridicules her.
They make fun of her.
But if she's also black...
Yeah.
That's going to be awkward, isn't it?
Very.
Not cool, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
They're going to be like,
I've already seen complaints that like they're going to make the cast too diverse and whatever and too woke and et cetera. And I'm sure they're going to probably cast more diverse than the movies are.
Yeah.
Like I don't doubt that. And Hermione's probably going to be the one that they cast. But like, It's interesting that you can hold like a lot of the time that's like it's too woke and also we love J.K. Rowling. So like, interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love it. I can't wait.
I think it's cool also.
10 years.
Yeah, they're going to age out.
I mean, the first cast did it over about
Does it
10
just
years.
probably
Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like, that's a lot of kids who are going to be going through like adolescence and into adulthood in that time period. Like, that's a lot of pressure on a lot of kids for like,
So what you're suggesting is we go back to the what they did in like the 80s and 90s, which is they cast 25-year-olds as 8-year-olds.
And then when they leave, they're 37 or whatever, when they graduate Hogwarts.
We've talked about that, surely, right? When I was a kid, I thought American kids were bigger than regular
enormous,
kids.
Yeah.
Because all I had was TV.
Yeah,
and
you're like,
all,
what's going on here?
And they all looked like monsters.
They're all enormous, yeah. Not true. They're all weird little freaks all over the world, Mason.
That's right.
Yeah. There are some other adaptations.
Bunch of Alan Tudyks.
That's right. There's a bunch of other stuff that was revealed as well. I won't name all of it, but one of them was a True Detective series with Jodie Foster called Night Country. I didn't watch the last season.
But what's interesting, I think, is this one seems to be implying some connections to the first season. You see, that swirly symbol? You see in the first
About
season.
time they got back to the swirly symbol.
That's back in this, I think.
Did you see that Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson might be brothers?
But
they don't want to check or something?
Yeah, maybe. Sure.
That's
sure,
fine.
throw that in. Why not?
Yeah, why not? There you go.
Also, Woody Harrelson's dad was a
hitman.
That's right.
That's true.
Also, I think, this is unrelated to that, but it related to the first season of True Detective.
Yeah.
I think McConaughey's character was in Alaska for a bit. Like, that's part of it. I think it's McConaughey's character. Part of his backstory. He was he was in Alaska, and this is set in Alaska.
You think he's going to be in it?
I don't know if he's going to be in it, but I'm wondering if that ties it all together somehow.
Cool, man. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Cool.
There's also a new Game of Thrones prequel series called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. Here's a synopsis.
Okay.
A century before the events of Game of Thrones, two unlikely heroes wandered Westeros. A young, naive, but courageous knight, Sir Duncan the Tall. And
Great. Love
that
regular name.
He's a regular name for you. And he's diminutive.
I'm so diminutive.
His diminutive squire, Egg.
What? You've made all that up.
No, it's real.
Hello, I'm Egg. I'm his diminutive squire.
Yeah, so it's Dunk and Egg is the story. I've read the comic, or some of it at least.
Dunk and Egg.
Yes.
How much of this am I?
This is real.
I don't believe you.
Look it up. Just Google it right now while I read this. Set in the age where the Targaryen line still holds the Iron Throne and the memory of the last dragon has not yet passed from living memory, great destinies, powerful foes, and dangerous exploits all await those improbable and incomparable friends or something. Anyway, one of these guys is like a...
Okay, Duncan the Tall, he's for real.
Yeah, I know. And look at Egg the Diminutive.
I'm not going to look that up. Oh, people also ask, was Duncan the Tall bigger than the mountain?
Was
the
he?
mountain is over 8 feet tall, I believe, whereas Sir Duncan is 6'11".
Lame.
Yeah, no good.
Short ass.
Yeah.
So Egg. Look it up.
Oh, my God. Spelled like egg? Like normal?
Egg.
Okay.
Like spelled like egg. Like egg, all right. Just egg.
Egg. Game of Thrones egg? Oh, okay. King Aegon V. Targaryen, also called Aegon the Unlikely and affectionately known as Egg. Okay. Wow, you got me.
I did. You owe me money.
It feels like George R.R. Martin was asked for new characters while eating like toast Eggian soldiers.
Yeah.
And he's like, dunk and egg.
Dunkaroos, dunk egg.
Dunk and egg.
Yeah.
I'm never writing that last book, by the way. It's never gonna
Last
happen.
book? There's like 3 left, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. The teaser for The Penguin.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good. Colin Farrell.
So this was a little bit of footage from the show and a little bit of behind the scenes stuff.
Bit of this, bit of that. He looks thinner in this. Am I misremembering that he was bigger than he was in the movie, maybe? I've only seen that movie once. I should watch it again. I really enjoyed it.
Should watch it again?
Yeah. I don't care what you say, Mason. It is a good movie.
All right.
Indiana Jones 5 is going to be good.
Have you avoided watching it because you enjoyed it so much the first time?
No, I think it's because it's 3 hours and I'm like,
oh, yeah.
I want to sit down and watch this properly. I don't just want to put it on and do whatever. I want to sit and watch it like a real person. Like
Have a sit and watch.
Exactly.
Have a sit and watch, a dunk and egg.
Yep.
Just treat yourself to the two most wonderful pleasures in life.
Yep. To Batman series and dunking an egg.
Having a dunk and egg.
Yeah. Mason.
Go on.
What do we love? Do you remember?
Are we on air?
Brands.
Okay. So we're off air now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're allowed to love both.
Yeah, okay, but what do we love the most?
Are we on air?
Yeah. No.
The list. Brands.
Yes. Grant,
Okay.
I'm glad you
Nice.
said that because
That we recognise specifically.
recognise, yeah.
Not new brands
No.
until they've been around for like a couple of years.
I wouldn't even put in a new segment if it was new brands.
Ugh,
what
yuck.
a waste of time.
God, they're probably
Yeah.
all woke.
They probably are. So Amazon, I don't know if you remember this
I
last.
love Amazon.
Yeah, well,
because it's a brand I know.
That's right. They acquired MGM last year for for $8.5 billion. I
do remember
This
that.
is via Deadline. Amazon Studios has been sifting through MGM's library, their words, identifying about a dozen initial titles for film and or TV development.
Just a guy with no taste whatsoever. Just an executive,
Yeah.
just with a big pile of stuff,
Yep,
just going
nah.
crap.
Yep.
Ooh, a brand I recognise. Green light.
And some of those brands that executive might recognize include RoboCop, Stargate, Legally Blonde, Fame, Barbershop, The Magnificent Seven, Pink Panther, and the Thomas Crown Affair. That's just some of them. Now, some of these are being steered towards film, some TV, and some of the bigger brands are getting both a movie and TV treatment. For example,
Go on.
the Thomas Crown Affair, and that's going to be a movie. And the Pink Panther might be an animated movie.
Oh.
But then we've got like RoboCop and Stargate and Legally Blonde. They would be both because they're bigger brands.
Bigger brands.
Wasn't there already going to be like a Stargate reboot and a RoboCop sequel again? Wasn't this already happening?
Well,
Is this different?
Well, there was the Joel Kinnaman RoboCop.
I know, but that's
then
done.
that was done, and
They were
that's
gonna do
dead.
RoboCop
I think they were going to do
Returns.
RoboCop. Yeah, exactly.
And it was going to be initially the dude who did Chappie and whatever, and then he left.
Blomkamp.
And then it was another Australian guy, but I don't know whether
Okay.
that's happening now.
Eric Banner.
Eric's going to be Eric Banner.
Okay. As Poiter.
As Porter.
Directing.
G'day, mate. And then this is happening now.
Yeah.
Brands that we
Okay.
recognise.
Well, I mean, look, there's clearly been a board of directors change or an executive change or whatever.
Well, they bought the thing.
Yeah. So they've thrown away all the plans.
Yeah.
And which gives them, because what happened, James? If you're you've just bought MGM.
I am.
And you take on somebody's existing RoboCop project and it doesn't do well.
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to cop all the blame, even though that's not your fault. But if you throw all those plans away and you make your own RoboCop sequel plans,
Yes.
plain sailing,
That's true.
And it's a brand people recognise.
I know, that's what I love. Apparently, so Abe Forsyth was directing the movie, but MGM are still persevering with the property, and they've announced apparently it's going to be a prequel series.
This is RoboCop.
Yeah.
So just Detroit.
Before RoboCop.
Rotten old Detroit.
Modern day Robo.
Yeah.
Just cop.
Regular cop.
Cop. Murphy.
No, because he's not. He arrives at the start of RoboCop.
Oh, yeah.
So he arrives in Detroit.
Empty chair.
Empty chair.
So there you go.
Okay.
I mean, I want to see more RoboCop, but
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
What if
I just wanted the Frank Weller sequel. Like the RoboCop Returns.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a Frank Welker sequel.
Who's
Whatever.
Frank Welker?
He voiced Megatron.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So then, you know.
I thought you were thinking of Peter Weller, but yeah.
Oh, did I say Frank? Yeah.
said Frank
it is Peter
Welker.
Weller.
Yeah,
Yes. Who's Peter Weller?
That's RoboCop.
So who's Frank Welker?
There is no.
Frank-
There's Peter Weller.
I
There's
know.
Frank Welker.
Yeah, I
And there's
Peter Weller and Frank Welker confused.
and there's Frank Walker from National
Tiles.
Tiles.
Yeah, I know.
The three. No, then there's Frank Walker from the movie Tomorrowland.
Okay,
So there's
that's
four.
the-
The big four.
the George Clooney
The
character.
four brands I recognise. RoboCop, doing voices, National Tiles, the movie Tomorrowland. They're the four brands that I love.
The pillars.
Yeah, that's right. The pillars of entertainment and society.
A couple of questions for you.
Go on.
RoboCop video games coming out this year.
Rogue City, yeah.
Excited for that?
Yes.
Second question.
Go on.
Wasn't there was two RoboCop live action series. There was a bad one. And then there was a short-lived Prime Directive.
Yeah, so there was a live action one which
Here
was
he
very
bloody
kind
goes,
of
I got bloody set him off, haven't I?
There's a bit of couple of minutes, fill in a couple of minutes here. No. So there was a PG-rated series, which was not very good, and then there was Prime Directives, which was for straight to DVD or straight to TV sequels.
Weren't they good-ish? Because people talk fondly of them.
I didn't like them.
Did they ignore 2 and 3?
I can't remember.
Does he have a jetpack? That's my.
He
actual
doesn't
question.
have a jetpack, but there's two RoboCops. There's a second RoboCop.
Is it the same? Like, do they look the same?
No.
Is it a woman?
No, it's a man.
Two
men.
Robocops.
Two Robocops.
Are they friends?
Not really.
Nah.
Yeah.
They have the same, like, suit?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the other one has 2 guns.
Double guns.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Anyway, that video game, I hope it's good. It's the guys who did the last Terminator game, which I liked. So
Yeah.
that would be cool and good.
And they've got Frank Walker to do the voice.
Hello.
You're under arrest.
Put your dick away. I'll shoot it off. All right, Mason.
Yes.
Now, Mason.
Hello.
It's not often on the show, or it sometimes happens that we get guests in because they've either made a new thing or they know a thing about a thing that we want to talk about. And this week,
It's usually us.
yeah, it's usually you. Sometimes it's Michelle Brazier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
Me.
others. Sometimes it's you.
Sometimes I'm here. Hello.
So this
I
week,
lost the thread of the conversation, honestly.
I don't know. You got to do a little intro to introduce the person or whatever.
true.
You know, yeah.
We
yeah.
thought we'd promote a couple of the little guys in the podcast.
That's right, yeah.
Mission Zach's leg was Armorama,
Oh, great.
obviously.
No, I'll take
that.
The footy with
Yes.
Broden and Kelly.
How's the crossover between the Weekly Planet and AFL football? What do you reckon it is?
It's just me.
Yeah. Are you?
No, not really. I'm not a football. I'm a family Essendon fan, so it's been a rough 20 to 25
Yeah.
years.
You beat
so-
my team yesterday, so you'll be happy to hear that.
I'm back in.
I got to be
Same
honest, as
stuff.
someone whose side project is a niche film podcast, the fact that we're talking about your side project, which is a footy podcast
Yes.
right
Let's
now.
talk about that.
I don't. It's fine. I've talked about it now. That's how I did it. Like, I can really use these listeners. But there is probably 2 or 3 football fans that are like, I like football, I
Yeah.
like comic books,
Yeah.
and this is for me right
100%. Charlie Clausen. There's an example of a
Yeah,
person.
no. You do have Charlie Clausen
Yeah,
energy, actually.
he's a football podcast also.
Yeah.
now. Natalie Portman.
That's a great
She
one.
goes
Yeah.
for the Sydney Swans and was in the Thor movies.
That's
So-
you could do a whole. You could do a whole.
Oh, fuck. That's okay. All right, we'll just pause for a minute. Because Broden has knocked a kombucha over the recording station.
We're back.
We're back and this is probably recording, I reckon.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah, it's probably all right. Yeah, we
Am
go.
I
We're good.
recording? Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're good. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. As I was saying, it's free. It doesn't matter.
I spilled kombucha on the mixing desk.
It's a really big table, like a really good sized table.
Yep.
And I would say the mixing desk takes up maybe
5%,
5%.
Sure,
yeah.
5%
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
table. And like that's where the kombucha landed. I was saying it was a bullet time moment for me. I saw Broden's hand hit the kombucha. The kombucha was flying through the air, and I reckon it was a good 20 minutes for me. In terms of, I was just sitting there looking at that, going, "There's no way that's going to land anywhere but that desk."
Anyway, we're all having a good time. Let's.
There we go. Yeah, oh my God.
That's why you keep the lid on, folks. Professional.
Another drink went down, but we're all
Anyway,
good.
we're talking about Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman loves comic books and football.
That's true. Well, we were just talking about she's got a reality show where she bought a baseball team or
Or
something.
something, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman
Soccer,
has that.
baseball?
No,
One of
because
those. Football?
there's the Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's that.
It's the
This
same
will be
thing.
at the end of the show, I think, where we talk about it later.
Maybe.
Has he
No, I
got-
think it's happened already.
What network's doing it, or what
I have
platform?
no idea.
Probably.
You told me about it.
I
so.
did. And maybe I'm
Natalie
lying.
Portman bought a...
It's called City of Angels or Angel City, something like that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
something like-
gosh!
Yeah. So it's the new trend. Is celebrities buying a sporting team.
I really enjoy the Wrexham show.
Angel City. HBO. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Wow,
going to be better
fancy.
than Ryan Reynolds. Might be mad.
Yeah, he might
Shitty
be.
right now.
He seems the type.
That was my thing.
It's probably filming an epic clapback right now.
Oh, yeah.
doubt,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, you know what? He probably had like a tinge of anger, and then he thought, no, this would make a great 2-minute video for my Twitter.
And
That's right.
gin or whatever the thing.
Yeah,
Gin?
he'll also
Yeah.
mention the gin.
Yeah.
He'd be calling her up right now, just being like, we'll do a funny little video, we'll mention the gin, we'll sort of duke it out somehow.
She's like, no, I'm about the football or whatever this club is. Baseball, whatever, I'm about that.
Yes, we do have podcasts. We also have a TV show.
Is that true?
Yes,
But a new one.
Aunty Donna's Coffee Cafe. Remember all that content we made for you guys about Netflix?
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
With ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation.
Nothing to do with the American Broadcasting Corporation, and whilst it has a rich relationship with the British Broadcasting Corporation,
Course.
they are not intrinsically linked. That's just a little note for the international listeners.
That's right.
Just saving you a few comments.
We-
Thanks, guys.
We've been doing a few.
And opening the doors for different comments. So thanks for nothing, Zach.
Yeah, we've been doing a few weeks of promo, and
Yeah.
the way we usually talk to when we're doing promotion is you just lightly talk about the show. But I'm a Weekly Planet listener,
Yes.
and
Got the name right.
I was just thinking, I was like, what am I going to call it, Mr. Sunday? I was like,
Mr. Sunday Boys. I love the Mr. Sunday Boys.
Thanks, Zach.
and your audience is smarter than the regular audience, so I'm just going to,
This is good pandering.
I'm going to do a direct call to action and then never talk about it again.
Okay.
Okay.
Please binge the show and then do that thing where you go on your mum's account and binge it as well.
Yep.
It's on iView. Give us some lovely feedback online, which helps almost as much as
Are you talking Twitter?
all that
social
stuff, social media, the
Facebooks?
IMDb, giving it a thingy,
Oh,
you know,
nice.
all that
And on
kind of
the-
stuff.
On the ABC accounts.
On the ABC accounts, like tell the ABC how good it is. We'd really appreciate that.
Yeah.
That would really help us. And then overseas, there is actually no way you can watch it apart, because you guys never watch stuff from overseas.
I've never seen a single thing from overseas.
I think your audience know what I'm saying here.
yeah.
But don't illegally download it.
Yeah, don't
No,
do
that
that.
doesn't help with
as a
numbers,
view.
does it? Yeah.
No, but I'm saying there's no way
Yeah.
for anyone overseas to
I'm
watch
agreeing
them.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way to do that.
No, so if I was to say that there is a way,
I don't know that.
yeah.
I don't know what that is. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying if I was to say, would that get anybody like you guys in
no,
trouble?
not at all. No, I don't know. I'm just talking about Australians watching it. You can
Cool.
do whatever you want.
Well, we do have an international audience, Mason, to
true.
some extent. And maybe if they wanted to access it via a VPN, I'm just telling you that exclusively.
Oh, this is a me.
Yeah, the Aunty
exclusive.
Donna
Oh, yeah,
boys
incredible.
have...
We're not even. I can't even hear you. They've gone to the other side of the room to have this quiet conversation.
So I think that would be really... I mean, they've probably seen the Netflix show, I'd imagine, a lot of them, and the YouTube stuff. So this is just a natural extension of that. And my understanding is it's set in the same universe. It features some of the same people.
Yes. I used a VPN to watch our Netflix show, strangely.
Did you really?
Yeah. I watched it from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
There was no reason to do that.
Just to be a little
Just a-
spicy.
I just was like, that's how me and my partner go on holidays. Is we watch, we might watch John Wick in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Tonight we're watching Emily in Paris in Canada.
It's a fun way to spice up your marriage. Get a VPN.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's very funny.
No, that's all I'm going to say about it. But we hope you enjoy it.
That you definitely will. I've seen it. If you've seen any of their stuff before, it's that. So I just think it's some of the best stuff that you've done. It's just really funny and bizarre. And there's some very real moments, like the moment involving Mark in a school that I won't get into here. Just my brother texted me that. He was like, Jesus Christ. Like,
It's 10% based on a real story, that.
is it really?
Yeah. Well, my first job out of uni, out of acting school, was going around to every high school and primary school in Victoria and doing a 50-minute show. Some of your audience will have seen me do this from
Really?
about 2011 to 2013, 14, is going around to schools and doing shows about cyberbullying.
Oh,
Is this
terrific.
true?
Yes.
Because you have worked a bit of that stuff. Because you've got a motivational character who
Yeah, which
Showed
is,
up.
But all of my ones were based because I can't drive. And
Right.
that's the number one thing. If you're an incursion actor, you got to be able to drive yourself.
Yeah, sure.
You need a boot big enough for
I
a
got-
little roll up background. So all of my
And a
stuff,
CD player.
all of my stuff is based on being the child watching it. So my motivational speaker is, without a word of a lie, I had a guy come. He did kung fu, and I still remember
Just
this
by
to this
himself.
day. Yeah. And he did like kung fu moves for us, or like he did something. He did a martial art moves for
Yeah.
us. He had like the most full-on life story. So he did some like karate, and then he told his like awful full-on life story. And then at the end, he was like, if you work really hard, you might be able to do karate like me. He's like, not like the guys on, I still remember this. Not like, the Matrix people, because that's like, you actually can't do that physically. He's like, but you might one day be one of the dudes or dudettes that make the metal, that make the plastic, that make the special effects, that do the Matrix.
that wasn't a joke.
I'm word for word quoting. I remember
God.
dudes and dudettes that make the metal, that make the plastic. And I remember sitting there, and I was young. Like, I would have been in year 7, I think.
Yeah.
This was the dudes and dudettes era.
Yeah, there was the
right.
dudes and dudettes era. Like, he knew that he had to address dudettes. He said dudes. He's like, I gotta I'm leaving
How
out
do I get
51% of the population.
We should mention when we talk about Matrix, someone from the Matrix is in this show, but we'll leave
Oh
that for
my
people.
God, yeah.
Did you like that?
Yes, obviously I liked it. Yeah.
That was like probably 80% made for you two.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And anyone
yeah.
of our generation who likes the Matrix. But yes, that Mark tangent. So I was doing theatre and Edward, go around to schools and do a 50-minute playing on. If you send a picture of your junk to your mates, is that illegal and stuff like that? And it was really, really good theatre. And it was. I remember I was at an all-girls school at 8:50 in the morning, and the other two performers hadn't showed up yet, and we were going to be late. So I'm standing in the car park looking for them, and the kids are going to their first period classes.
Yeah.
So you're a man in a...
You just
I was
that's cool,
about
yeah.
21-year-old man in normal clothes, just standing in a school looking around. And his teacher walks up, and I remember he's like a young guy. He goes, "Hey mate, just wanted to know, what are you doing here?" I never felt like more of a criminal in my life. I was like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for friends. Sorry, I'll leave." And so that's where that.
There's nothing more threatening than the polite. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
What are you doing?
I just happened to notice you were standing here.
You got a reason for being here?
Yeah, so that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for watching.
But happy to do it. Now, you were also recently in a big blockbuster production. Is that also true?
Yeah, with stars.
Yeah. We are Hollywood celebrities now. So we like generously, like a Richard Roxburgh doing Rake after Van Helsing.
Great reference. Thank you. Yeah.
We have come back to the ABC with this show as returning to the homeland, the prodigal sons, because
Charity.
Yeah,
because we
absolutely.
were actually in Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves Australian release. So,
But did you? Because there's a Dungeons and Dragons like aesthetic that runs through the new show. Was that before or after?
well
That's just a
before.
coincidence.
We're not in the Jeremy Irons one.
No, you wish. I'd imagine.
We could retroactively make.
We could put you in it, yeah. I think so, yeah. With an app probably on your phone.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to make that very clear. But yeah, it has a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons in this show, and and no one wanted to do any crossover or anything like that. Like we never really talked about it until now.
the fact that the one conversation I had a conversation with Mark, the third member of this group, when we were doing some promo for the Dungeons and Dragons, where he was like, "Oh, they're gonna think we put this in because we did the movie."
What a bummer.
Yeah, like and then it wasn't like it feels like
They should be
synergy.
synergized.
Like it feels like us being like, "Oh, you know what? If we put Dungeons and Dragons in our show, then we'll be able to bring over the Dungeons and Dragons fans." And it wasn't that. It was.
You've done D&D stuff before as well. Like,
Yeah,
YouTube skits and
we've
stuff,
done
yeah.
stuff around that before. And it literally was, we wrote it a year ago, so it was fully a coincidence, 100%.
And this D&D thing, the movie, that was a more recent thing. Like, when did you
Yes.
get contacted about that?
A week ago.
We put you in. We took some audio from the podcast.
Yeah, just
we
so
put you in the
you're
movie.
aware. No, we got contacted. It wasn't huge. Like, I think they were close to the final edit of the show, of the film. And then we got contacted by Australian Paramount being like, would you like to do the Australian dub of these characters? We're doing it with a lot of the international releases when they're already being dubbed into different languages. And we thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to do that with this? And I've got to say, ever since, I was saying this before we recorded, ever since I saw like a little documentary on Channel 9 about Mark Mitchell, who's a comedian in Australia, doing...
Our listeners are very
Yeah, you guys know Mark Mitchell.
Con the Fruiterer.
Con the Fruiterer. He played the dad of Chicken Little. Only in the Australian release. I've been obsessed with these little things they do. It's usually in animations where Australians will do 1 or 2 scenes just for the release, just to help with promo.
Yeah.
I've been obsessed with it, and it's kind of been on my... You know how we have our real bucket lists that we tell people about, and then we have our fucked bucket list? The deep down inside bucket list?
Yeah.
The doing an Australian dub to help promote an American film has been on my fucked bucket list for a long time. So it was a
So
real
you were
thrill.
wrapped then when you got that call.
Yeah, I was like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have any time, but we have to do this.
Have
This
you
is
looked up
crazy.
the equivalents of yourselves in other countries to see what they're like? Oh, a Broden type in like the Netherlands or whatever?
No, I did follow the nice man who actually played my character in the UK, where this was clearly filmed. It's just this nice working actor whose name escapes me as we talk now, but he had like 100 followers. And he's like this nice. I think he may have even been the character, like because we played dead bodies.
They put him in
and
there.
I think it may.
practical effects,
I think it's this nice man. And I just followed him, and I was like, "I'm taking your role in Australia, and I'm really sorry about it."
I looked my guy up.
His bucket list, he's got your mate's. His bucket list is like tour Australia after Dungeons and Dragons. After my big break, and he's crossing it off like, oh no.
I looked my guy up the morning we recorded, and it really like said because he was Australian. He's based in Britain.
Oh shit!
But he was Australian,
really,
and I felt so guilty. I felt so bad. But then the thing I told myself is like if they don't give it to us, they'll give it to Fitzy and Whipper.
Exactly.
And,
Right,
it's gonna be dubbed, so we
Yeah.
may as well just be the ones to take this.
And
Completely
a
agree.
silver lining for all those original actors is everyone who went to see the movie because we were in it would message me after and go, "Did I see the wrong? Did I see the wrong movie?" I was like, "No, we're in it." It's like, "Where?" And you're like, "Well, we were those corpses." And they go, "Oh, no, not in the one I saw." I was like, it is. But they just made us, because they didn't bring us in and go, "You do Broden," and go, "Oh, I'm a corpse and I don't like mucking around." It's like, no, copy the original actor's
You
voice.
can't like ad lib because it's
Word perfect.
Yeah.
The mouths are moving. And unlike an animation, those are real mouths moving. You have to do it exactly. And it was funny because you can even see it in Broden's one in particular, how close
Which was
he
the
is.
first one? First guy?
I'm not even sure. But there's this amazing moment where his character is in the on set, on camera talking, and Broden's matching it exactly. And then it goes into a flashback with narration, and you can just feel Broden coming out. And as soon as it's not matching the mouth, it's the one line that's like, there's Broden. It's a very strange experience.
It was a strange experience. Like Zach and Mark went to the premiere in Hollywood. You're flown business class there. We did this thing in Sydney where we went to
you got a little press tour. I saw the
video. They set us up in a hotel. We did like a Margot Robbie. Yeah, we for a day felt like Margot Robbie. They put us in we did these. We welcomed 2 audiences to watch the premiere of Dungeons and Dragons in Sydney, and we walked
good reception, I'd imagine.
Don't know. We left before it ended.
Oh, no, I mean, to you.
Oh,
That would have been rapt to see you.
They were like,
this isn't the hot guy from Bridgerton. There are so many hot people in that movie, and then they got us.
So we went to 2 cinemas and did we love this movie. You're going to love it. Enjoy. And then we were kind of ushered out of the Hoyts to down this back alleyway of Hoyts to an open door where a limo, like a moving cartwheel is the door opened and it was ready for us to be ushered into it. Like there would be press or paparazzi waiting for us.
Ushered out of a Hoyts, that's a bucket list.
It was the press, the whole we did the whole thing where you go to a hotel room and you go to the conference room and you sit and you do interviews. Have you ever been the interviewer?
We did it
those
once.
ones?
Edgar Wright and I who was the other one? I'd Lee Winnell.
Oh,
but
cool.
we don't do them. I got asked to interview Quentin Tarantino once, and I just went no. Because it was 5 minutes. I'm like, what do I say to him? Hey, I love your movies, and do you love making movies? What am I going to get out of it? He's just going to think I'm a fucking idiot.
He'd be like, thanks for liking my movies, and I do like making movies. We could have an exclusive.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I just don't think I'd just be nervous, and it would be bad.
Yeah,
so I'm just I don't want to do it.
100%. And I got to say, from now that I've seen it from the other perspective, there's no what it made me admire, because we were just silly and we just made lots of jokes, and I kept talking about the movie Flatliners. Because every single person asked the question, how did you get into the role of a corpse?
Yeah.
And they were asked it this is going to be a different question to the other guys. And everyone asked it. And then I started saying that I did Flatliners.
I've seen one of these interviews.
Well, I did it every single interview.
Except for one. So one about 19 in to these interviews, he's kept saying, I'm doing Flatliners, I've stopped my heart. And then there's one where Zach starts talking. He's like, I've trained a lot for this. And then Mark tries to do a nice setup for Zach. It's where he's like, in fact, you watched a movie, you tried to replicate a movie, and Zach just in front of this press goes, no, I didn't.
I don't recall watching any movies. He's like, yeah, didn't you watch a movie? I'm like, no.
Do you think that's why? Because you often see in these interviews, because people do these for days or weeks on end, different countries of the world, jet lagged, same question again and again, and you just watch someone go mad.
Yeah,
like you watch Daniel Craig just come apart talking about James Bond. You know,
Twice. You had to do that twice. Yeah.
It's the ones I think that it made me really admire. Funny ones are fine. People that are prepared. I think it's the handsome or the beautiful actors that have to be charismatic.
Yeah.
Their brand. Like I felt for your Margot Robbies and your Hemsworths that 5 minutes they have to be like, make this connection and be like, thank you, you're great. You would lose your mind. Like you would literally lose your mind, I think.
Yeah, because like Hollywood movie stars, they're famous for different reasons to everyone else. Like they're beautiful and can say a line while not moving their head on a camera. That's different to being, interesting to talk to.
Absolutely it is, yeah.
And Tarantino would also get like people who want to say things to him. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't just be like, wow, what camera did you use? It would be like, I love movies and I want to talk about myself and connection to you. Like it would be full on.
Well, have you seen that Channel 4 guy? I watch them like once a year. You know how we have those YouTube videos that you just come back to every year? There's a guy on Channel 4. He did the Robert Downey Jr. interview.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy who Robert Downey Jr. leaves?
Yeah, because he tries to talk to him about his like
addiction
drug
and-
addiction and his relationship with his father. Like he tries to do like an hour-long deep dive.
Yeah, and it's in one of those
7 minutes.
Oh, no.
It's just like it is just, and he also did the same thing where he tried to talk to Tarantino about violence in cinema.
Hey, that is the same guy.
It's the same guy. And I watch both of those videos once a year. And especially now that I've done it, the idea that you're sitting there, you're like 12 hours in and some guy's like, let's talk about your addiction and your relationship with your father.
And you see Robert Downey Jr. look to his handlers to can you fucking sort this?
The way he handles it is so good.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm not going to do this. It's just like, I'm not.
I just
do
ate
this.
9 different hot sauces 5 minutes ago. My brain's not working, and you're asking me about violence. Would you guys rather do that? What you just did, like a day of just the same questions over and over again, all the weird novelty ones? Because I think like a lot of celebrities are like, oh, this is fun, this breaks up the day. But I think other celebrities would be like, I'm not a clown. I don't want to keep performing to this.
I think there's good ones, like Hot Ones is good, but other ones are just like, you're going to play ping pong while we're going to shoot darts at you or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Just too many things happening.
On our Netflix rollout, we were like, we're going to do everything we possibly can to promote this show. And we ended up in a forest digging a hole.
Oh, your own graves.
Yeah,
Sure.
we literally like 3 weeks in, we're deep in the Dandenong forest up in the mountains digging.
Oh, because you did the monolith thing.
This is where it left us. We were like pouring wet cement into the earth to lay a plinth like deep in the wilderness.
And 3 weeks into a program.
And we've been doing interviews, we'd talk to you guys.
It's a long drive as well.
It was really far. And I just spent 2 days going, I'm going to jail. I'm going to go to jail. So a YouTube channel called I Did a Thing who do really fun, call them science videos.
They're great. Yeah.
They're like, let's collaborate. We're like, great. And they said, everyone's building these plinths around the world. Let's go and make one of them and claim that you guys did it to promote your Netflix show. Went, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But we met them out in the suburbs of Victoria. They built a big plinth, put it on a trailer. Then we drove it deep into the forest and had to dig it ourselves. And then left, and then
had they picked the spot already, or
no?
were
We
you
kind of
just
just found it.
They said they knew the rough area, and then I remember we went and got KFC. That was fun.
Yeah, that's
just eating KFC with these people we just met.
But we we hit this level where we were just like,
I don't care. I love it.
We just hit this level mentally where we're just like, we'll do it all. We're tired, and that's where it left us, and it was bizarre. And then 2 days later, it got pulled out by Parks Victoria. Thankfully, I was just so. But then it got traction, and people started to think that we actually did it because we did them all. We went to Utah and did it,
right.
and Jimmy Kimmel, we almost hooked Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, really?
Where his people reached out and were like, we'd like to have the creators of the plinth on, and Mark was like, I'm doing it. And then last minute, I think they chickened out. But I would probably prefer to do a day of interviews than that again.
Yeah.
That worked though.
Yes, it did.
You know what? I would love to do Hot Ones one day. There was like that window where it wasn't like the biggest show on the internet. And
Yeah.
they were
Yeah,
only
well, people
doing-
have asked us, not them.
Yeah,
So I'd be
yeah.
like, would you guys go on it? It's like, what world do you
Yeah.
think that they would ask us to
Maybe
go on?
season 3 we
Maybe,
could have gone
yeah.
there, but now it's like Charlize
Now it's
Theron.
like
Yeah.
Shaka's on there and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
It's bigger than it's bigger than the Tonight Shows. now.
yeah, it's huge.
We were in America recently, and you turn on the TV, and it's a TV show.
Yeah.
Like it's a YouTube show that has been bought as a TV show now. It's so successful.
Yeah, it's huge. So I would do that. Do you know the thing I would never want to do, and the thing that kills me is when they make Australian artists or any country, if they're not from the America, when they're promoting an American film, they make them eat Australian snacks.
Snack wars.
There's nothing I hate more. And it's like, I think I saw 15 clips of Margot Robbie promoting Babylon being like talking to a Mexican co-star, just being like, it's a Tim Tam. It's really good. It's like he knows the Tim Tams are good.
Yeah.
He had to eat a Tim Tam 5 minutes ago. They keep making this guy eat Tim Tams.
I quite like those ones, but often at times it's like they're clearly on a Hollywood diet, and so they're very judgy.
yeah, that's good.
I saw one and it was Colin Farrell and Danny DeVito, and Colin Farrell was on like some sort of Hollywood diet, and Danny DeVito
penguins.
has two penguins, and Danny DeVito has diabetes, so neither of them could.
They didn't even think
either
about
of
that
them.
beforehand.
No, and it's like
Incredible.
and they're all and Danny DeVito's like, yeah, that does look good, but well, on to the next one, I guess. I don't know.
I saw one with Taika Waititi. It was like drinks mixing or whatever. And the interview was good, but he was like, I drove here. Like, I can't have a bunch of cocktails. I gotta go after this to another thing. Like,
Yeah.
I've got to go to a drug party after this.
that's right.
A Hollywood drug
he
party.
would, wouldn't he? Yeah.
That's the way to do promotion now, though. Like old media, there's no point in doing it, is there? It's YouTube videos.
Yeah.
It's like that's where people are watching things.
I know, like Daryl Summers for local references.
That's good. That's
But
good.
there was a
good,
show.
good
We
start.
talk about Hey Hey Saturday all the time.
Of course.
But basically,
TV.
That's right. Basically, there was a show from, I'm going to say the early 80s up until the late 90s, which was a variety. It wasn't an hour. It was like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I know you guys know this.
Yeah.
Obviously, this
No,
is
it's
everybody
fine,
else.
it's fine.
So
And then
yes, I know.
They
Yes.
cancelled it, and then they brought it back in like the 2010s, and then it got cancelled again for racism, but mostly because nobody watched it.
Correct.
And then there was a recent interview with Daryl Summers, who hosted Hey Hey It's Saturday, who was like, where do acts go when they come to Australia now? Where do they go to promote their
Yes.
music or whatever? And it's like, they don't need TikTok anywhere. Like,
No, they don't need to leave the house.
Yeah.
They don't need to go sit in front of the Sydney Harbour and do interviews.
No.
Like,
They did a post 4 months ago on their Instagram, and they're good. They're good.
Exactly.
Like,
They go on this weird show, and like there's an ostrich and a man talking to you, and a puppet comes up, and
So
somebody
good.
draws like a racist cartoon, and then they cut to a guy holding a saxophone, and
Yeah.
it's just like
Not a guy, Wilbur Wyatt.
Well,
please.
yeah.
Put some
And
respect on
no
the man's
shade
name.
on Hey Hey Saturday. It was very much of its era or whatever, but just it's
there is something so special about watching clips of Hey Hey and just seeing American celebrities, and you don't know it because it's your culture.
Yeah.
But being like, this is like they're lost in translation. Like they're coming
Yeah.
to our country and they're having an ostrich. Like they're literally talking to an ostrich puppet, just being like, all right, if this is all right.
exactly. And then all of a sudden it's the Gong Show, because there's the Red Faces, which is a rip-off of the Gong Show, and it's just, and it went forever.
Yeah.
Like it went for like 3 hours. Like
it's in the period of Australia where most shows would just go, hey, no one can watch American TV here. Let's just steal the show
Yeah.
and redo it. There's a very famous show in the 90s, which is literally just stealing David Letterman's show.
Night Live with Steve Izard.
Correct. I didn't know if I could say, but yes, just fully just
what, like
stole his show.
monologues and all, and
And
Jokes,
the set was
sets.
the same but was reversed. Yeah.
Like I think he actually got in trouble for
Yeah.
it. I think it was actually too far even by the 90s standards.
Yeah,
And he
right.
literally did Letterman.
they figured it
Like,
out.
people just used to steal shit because no one would know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, there was the guy, we've talked about this, the guy that used to go on, no, he used to go on Martin Malloy.
Yeah.
He used to do like funny monologues.
Tony Martin.
Yeah, it was Tony Martin. Let's say it was Tony Martin.
Yeah.
Tony Martin used to go on Martin Malloy, and he used to do like funny monologues, like topical monologues, and
Yeah.
about various stuff that was happening around the world.
Could we won't name this guy.
But I think we might have
Okay,
even talked
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. But they Martin Malloy used to get like they'd get Harry Shearer on to like do,
Yeah.
when they talked about it,
Yeah.
and they would do best ofs, and they'd be like, "Here's the clip, and what do you think about that, Harry Shearer?" And Harry Shearer heard one of these was about gun control, and he was like, "Oh, that's Howard Stern. That's Howard Stern did that in the US."
So he was buying like tapes or
Maybe,
something.
or maybe his friend was just sending him over, and he would just do those every week, and
Wild.
and then somebody caught him doing it. So-
Reminds me of on the X Factor, like not that long ago when someone came out and did stand-up.
Stand-up.
Fully just did Lee Mack's
Yeah.
bit from 10 years ago.
And there was that whole discussion because I remember Will Anderson got involved as well. My good friend Will Anderson.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody here. It was like
Will.
Yeah.
I call him Wood. Was so good friends.
But there was a discussion of like, well, it's like a cover song. You know, he's taking somebody's work and he's making it his own. But he just said the jokes. And it got a really good reception initially because, you know, the people who are receptive to that, they don't see comedy. So they're just like, yeah, it's a guy doing inoffensive jokes about, I don't know, dim sims or whatever. And then he wrote his own material, didn't he, for like
Yeah.
the next time? And it was just
He
like,
did. It's not good.
boo.
And then I remember Carl Sandilands famously going, I don't see the problem. I think it's good.
Dude, is that right, Kyle? Yeah.
He's the moral barometer of our nation right there.
Love Australia.
That is the most famous radio show still, right?
Yeah, it is. I believe Jackie O, the co-host of that show, bought a house for $13 million the other day.
But is that like reflective of who's listening? Because I don't know anybody who listens
That's a
to
really good
radio.
point.
And I also know for radio, they don't have... This is anything now at this point, right? We have a topic. We might come around to it. But
It's good yarns.
Yeah.
Yarns, yeah.
Good yarns.
Good yarns and maybe libel, depending on who we name. I don't
Bible
know.
yarns.
with radio, you can't track the data like at all.
No,
So
it's
all
still book, paper, pen and
survey-based.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no like, you know, with a podcast or a YouTube video or a digital streaming show, for example, on iView, Aunty Donna's Cafe Fun Time.
Yeah,
Is that
that's right. Yeah, that'll do.
That's good. Yeah.
Then they know who's watching it exactly the right time, at what time, for how long, or when they're like, oh, this bit's boring, and they turn off and whatever. They don't know. They don't have any of that information, and they get millions of dollars in advertising
Crazy.
for
That
maybe.
radio is just going on the assumption that the people paying for ad space aren't going to ask too many questions, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a lot of confident people going, hey, we have 1 billion people watching this.
Look at this building that we're in.
And then, like, they go, okay, we believe you. And, like, I believe that's just how the whole industry is being held up at the moment.
Yeah.
And TV's not far behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like there's a lot of radio is very like just it's on, you know, like that's when I hear
It's on.
I think of all the times I've listened to the radio, it's been in an Uber or a bus, you know,
Yeah.
like that's where
At my parents' house, when they'll watch the cricket, but they'll mute the cricket because they don't like the commentators, and they'll put on the ABC commentators.
See, I do that for footy still.
Yeah.
I'm 65.
Are you a one ear in the? Do you ever take it to the game and have one ear in the thing?
If we want to tangent a little bit, right?
Okay, I think this is Tangent, the podcast.
But this is kind of tech based, right? Is, you know, old blokes used to go to live sport, particularly the footy, and you get your wireless and you put it in your ear and you listen to commentary,
Rex Hunt
and
or
it would
whatever.
be pretty in sync. Then what happened is digital radio took over, so there would be maybe a 10-second delay, so that took that out. But now at the MCG, you join the Wi-Fi, connect that to your app, and it's simulcast. You're back to how it was in the 70s.
Nice.
So it's teched back to it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I do that now, like an old man, but with high tech young man energy.
Yeah, yeah,
That's fun. I went to the drive-in recently, and I went for a second time. The first time our car battery broke down, so the second time I was like, I'm going to buy a little portable radio.
That's great.
And I got to tell you, buying a portable radio in this day and age
It's
is
really
wild. I wanted to do research, and I was like, I wonder if like the New York Times tech section has done like a list of best portable radios, and they were just like, "There's one. There's
just one.
There is
Yeah.
one portable radio.
Yeah.
Just buy that one, guys." Like,
I went in our newer car, to speaking of tech stuff, if we're doing tangents, to a drive-in, and the
We'll
car,
allow it, yeah.
the car
We'll
was
allow one
so new that it would just keep shutting off.
Yeah,
it's
they
like
do
your engine or your radio shouldn't be on, or like the GPS would
Wow.
light up as you like it just couldn't comprehend that
Yeah.
you wanted to leave the radio on. It was just like no. So I'd have to like. I'd even have to like open the door, close the door, so it would think that it was like a different car trip.
Yeah,
Like,
You got to be that clever. And that's the thing. You've also got to pick the kind of movie where you're happy to like have weird shit like that happen. Like
Yeah.
I know people that went and watched Knives Out at the drive-in. I was like, that's the wrong, because then their radio dropped out as he was revealing who the killer was.
Oh, no.
the Knives
No,
Out.
you got to pick the kind of movie where you're perfectly happy to just miss 10 minutes of it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
Good
and-
tangents, bud.
Great
Yeah,
tangents,
great
I think.
tangents,
so.
guys.
Well, we've
Yeah,
done
good work,
over 30
everybody.
minutes. So that's heaps, actually.
Yeah. Now let's keep going. Let's ride this out.
Well, we had a rough topic that was like scene stealing performances because you guys, you'll always be stealing scenes, like in Dungeons and Dragons. By the way, it is a good movie. I
think
know,
it's a
like
movie, yeah.
you didn't like have an impact on the larger property by the time it came to you, but it was great, and it's probably not going to get another one.
Also, like 3 weeks after Dungeons and Dragons came out, Mario came out. So
yeah, that's right.
Wow.
doesn't matter who's in Dungeons and Dragons. It's going to be annihilated.
Did you review this week, Mario, or have you did
Last week.
Last
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Did you give best movie ever?
I didn't mind it as like a kids movie. It's fine, but
Yep.
as like a movie, it's pretty like low effort. It's
Because I mean, as you mentioned, my side project is I watch every movie starring John Leguizamo, who was in the original Mario.
oh yeah.
So that is like a holy grail for me.
Yeah.
I give that movie too much respect. So the idea, this new Mario movie, like literally upsets me. I think it's upsetting that it exists.
What I like about that original one, it's like it's weird and it's bad.
Bad shit.
But yeah, exactly. It's so off the wall. Like, why would you think that this was the thing
It's
to make?
It's the thing I always say about it. I say this a lot, so I won't go too far into it. But it's what you're meant to do. My understanding is what you're meant to do if you're a filmmaker is you're meant to make the movie for them. If you get the opportunity to make a Mario movie, you go, all right, I'll make this Mario movie. And when it's a success, then I'll do my cyberpunk underground dinosaur movie. But what they did was I think they were just like, oh, this is our opportunity to make our dinosaur cyberpunk underground movie. And we'll just put Bob Hoskins in a Mario outfit in the middle of it. And it is insane. It's insane that exists. Like it couldn't exist now, I don't think.
There's a great interview of him where after he took it on, he speaks to he's told his son, he's like, yeah, I'm in Mario or whatever. And his son's like the video game. And he's like, what? Like, no idea. No idea.
Holy hell.
I mean, if you were brought that, like, why would you think that's a video game, though? You know?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. There's this phenomenal behind the scenes video from like the late 90s where they interview the cast and the directors. And the directors are the funniest people. They're like, we were reading a book about dinosaurs and we thought, wouldn't it be interesting if dinosaurs were still around?
That would be interesting.
That's Jurassic Park. You're talking about Jurassic Park.
Did you just, or maybe you just watched Jurassic Park a year before you released this film?
On Mario as well, we went to Mario World.
Oh,
Nintendo World.
The one in LA?
LA,
Yeah.
Universal
What's
Hollywood.
it like?
It's well, some people will know what I'm about. It's quite breathtaking.
Yeah.
It's quite stunning.
Is it, they make use of the space I hear, because it's not as big as you'd like think, is that right?
It's brand okay. Well, the way I said it to Zach, right, is when you go to Universal in like 5 years' time, it's going to really make you think that Universal's great. At the moment, it's kind of like being branded as you're going to Nintendo World and living in Nintendo World, and you can spend a day in Nintendo World. It's one of like 10 places you can go to in Universal. When you first walk through that doorway or archway and you see the Mario World around you, it's
one of the most impressive, like, whoa.
Yeah.
aesthetically stunning, right? And we're like, this is going to be great. And we went to the first ride and the line was 210-minute wait. But we're old hands at this. But we only waited.
Get out of the way.
Yeah. Kids are tiny. Kids are tiny. We went the single rider and we were on in 15 minutes and we experienced it. And I thought what you just said about the movie is how I felt about the ride, which is that it's the Mario Kart ride. It's like, kids will like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't world changing.
No.
And they're like, all right, let's go try the other rides. And we walked around, went to the first one. We're like, that's not a ride. That's like a hit a brick thing.
Yeah.
And then we went to another thing. Like, that's not a ride. And then hang on. And then we walked up to an employee and we went, are there any other rides? I went, no. That's it. You got to buy like a
$40 wristband to hit a brick. And we're like,
you can go around and collect stuff and win
Yeah, I knew about
coins
that.
or
Is the one in Japan better? Is that?
But you know what? I think Broden made the point.
Yeah.
The one in Japan would be better because we went on opening week.
Yeah,
So we
okay.
went when it was, and this is the first time I've ever been to a theme park where it's been like opening week. I usually like to let it settle a little bit.
Sure.
And I think part of the problem was the hype. Like we walked straight there, we walked in, we were expecting to spend a few hours. I think you're absolutely right. Give it a few years.
If you went to Jurassic World and did that ride and saw some dinosaurs and then saw Transformers and then that classic the mummy area.
Yeah,
sure.
The Mummy.
Did
Tom
the
Cruise
movie.
is the Mummy. Yeah.
Kids see Minions, you do Waterworld, and then Nintendo's also there. That's great. But as a whole world, we were let down. But visually, the most, I think more impressive than Disneyland. I think it was
They
really,
go for it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Universal. Here's my thing. I get very nerdy about theme parks.
Is this going to be a tangent?
Yeah. Oh, I think we're in the tent.
Oh,
We
all
should
right.
talk about your trip to LA though that you did for D&D.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will- yeah.
Yeah.
We'll finish the tangent. We'll
Yeah,
tangent
yeah,
to that
yeah.
after this tangent, if you wouldn't mind.
I think Universal are better at doing lands at the moment, particularly IP, but Disney are better at the whole experience. Like the way, like I feel whiplash when I'm at a Universal theme park. Theme park. I feel like I always feel a little bit sick and I've got a headache after Universal because it's just like, oh, I'm in Nintendo now. Oh, I'm in Waterworld now. Whereas like Disney's a lot more smooth and like
Yeah, and when you're in the line, it's an experience, and
Yeah.
a painting might talk to you or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
It's just a much sort of overall the experience is a much more considered. I
My
think.
favorite Universal thing is I was talking to Dracula there once. He was just walking around.
Daylight.
Yeah, and
Okay.
someone
I mean,
got,
not technically inaccurate. We'll
That's
say
true,
Mars.
yeah, yeah.
It's
His
like
powers would be greatly diminished, but he'd still be able to walk around.
at Disney World, they have all these rules about, world and canon and all that stuff. And Universal just do not care. And this Dracula is like this 55-year-old actor working there. Hello, how are you? And he's getting photos with people like, you want a photo? Yeah. Like, he's not like, I won't be in it or anything like that. And someone's taking a photo of him and it slips out of their hands and dropped on the ground. And the Dracula just in character goes, is it all right? It looked like a bad drop. And he's like, oh, good. All right. It's just like, it was my phone, just a man going, is your phone okay?
And by comparison, in Star Wars Land at Disney, you can see the peak of Splash Mountain. So they made sure that the paint of the color of Star Wars of Galaxy's Edge was the same color as Splash Mountain,
the
so that the
world,
peak
yeah.
of Splash Mountain wouldn't take you out of the immersion. Compare that to you're meeting Dracula. You can see Jurassic World, Transformers, The
Scooby-Doo's
Mummy,
over there.
and Scooby-Doo all in your vision at once.
Yeah.
It's full on. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
So my trip to LA to
we go.
promote Dungeons and Dragons it was very funny. It was a very funny trip. They just said to us, they were like, would you be interested in going to LA to the Hollywood premiere of Dungeons and Dragons? And no rules. They were just like, maybe do a couple of posts
So
about it.
there wasn't like any obligation, like you have to do an interview or
No,
whatever,
they were
or-
like, just maybe do a couple of posts about it. And we were like, I was like, no, I'm really tired. I've just been to LA.
We were there a week earlier or something.
Broden's doing something else. Like, I don't think we're up for it. And they're like, maybe if they fly us business class.
Sure.
And even then I was like, but maybe not. And then they're like, okay, we'll fly you and Mark business class to the LA premiere of Dungeons and Dragons so you can take a photo on the red carpet and say you went and then sit and watch the other guys doing the performance. And we're like,
Who, were they there?
the
Actors.
The other actors.
The
Well,
American
I don't.
corpses, yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, no.
I'd imagine you would have a higher profile though. That's why they asked.
I think that's
you.
what they wanted.
Yeah.
They wanted us to go there to promote it in Australia.
Sure,
But
yeah.
it was a very strange experience because we were like, we're not in this movie. And then it was like, what category do they put us in? So they were handing us over to the US Universal team. And it's like, what category do you put us in? We're not the talent because we're not in the movie, but we are kind of in the movie. But I guess we're there to promote it. So they put us in with the influencers.
Gonna say influences, yeah.
We were the influencers. So we got there the day before. We get in, I go to sleep, we wake up, we get this email where they're like, at 5 p.m. you will get the opportunity to walk on the red carpet.
Oh,
And I was like, it's fine, I'm doing this for you. It's all good. It's not an opportunity, but all right. And then we walked down the red carpet. We walked in. And the real photographers are like setting up, like they're not ready yet because none of the real celebrities are there yet. They have a photographer there from Paramount, like not even standing behind the barricade where the real photographers are, just there. He's standing there and he takes some photos of us and we're like, okay, cool. And we keep walking. And Mark is friends with Liv Hewson from Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
And they had just done the season 2 premiere of Yellow Jackets at the Chinese Theatre a week before, and they're like a star of this show. And Mark was like, wouldn't it be funny if you came with us to this? Because Broden can't make it, you can be our Broden. So we're walking down the red carpet, and then they go, and then one of the photographers who's setting up just goes, Liv, just Liv. And our whole joke was Liv was Broden. Like, just Liv. And we're like, okay. And then we just stood to the side while this real photographer took a photo of Liv. And then I was like, and then I thought it'd be funny to just sort of poke my head in, because then it'd be like this funny, like I could imagine what's the Getty Images? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Just, wouldn't that be funny if there's a Getty Images where like I'm half in shot?
Yeah, photographers have a good sense of humor about that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. But I at least thought he would feel too awkward about it because I'm Australian and used to Australian photographers. He was just like, no, just Liv. And Liv thought that I was trying to get in the photo because I was standing behind them, thought I was trying to get in the photo legitimately. So it was like, oh, can we do some with which was even more embarrassing because I'm just standing there. And then we go and got put into the area with the influencers.
The paddock with the influencers.
Yeah, and then the Australians.
The pen.
The little pen. And we were calling it the pig pen, and we're in the pig pen. And then the Australian Paramount people had said to the American Paramount people, if you get a chance, can you get a photo of them with some of the stars of the movie?
Sure.
And the American Paramount people were being really good about it. They were just like, we're going to get you in front of all the other influencers and we're going to really give you an opportunity to do this photo. But we were still behind a barricade. So I'm pretty sure the photo we would have gotten would have been like a selfie. Like, like we were meeting the celebrity.
Chris Pine, it'll say Chris Pine poses with a fan.
That's exactly it. But I did see Chris Pine. So I was in the little pen for an hour with our guest.
What
Liv.
do they give you anything? You just stand there?
No, they were like, no, we were just standing there. But I feel
They're
like
giving you exposure, James.
we
They're
were
getting
free to
exposure.
move. This was not them being rude. It was just like we were free. I think they thought we wanted that photo, and I'm like, I'm fine. I don't need the photo. So we're standing there, and then Chris Pine comes, and I got to say, Chris Pine, I only saw him from like 20 meters away. Is the most handsome man I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he is more handsome in real life than on camera, and he's already a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's
I'd believe it.
intimidating.
Because, you know, there's like good looking in real life.
Yeah.
And then there's TV, movie good looking.
Yeah.
It's a different level of good looking.
And usually when you meet them in real life, they're like, oh, you're made for TV. You're a little bit... He was just like this Adonis walking around. And I was like, my God, maybe I get to meet the most handsome man in the entire world. But he was really good to his fans, and all of them were. They were really good to their fans, so they spent heaps of time with their fans, and then it pushed it back. So then after an hour in the pen, a security guy came and was like, sorry, we have to cut your meeting short. So we got pulled into the cinema. And I think the American Paramount people would have stopped it if they'd seen it and gone, no. But we were just like, all right. And we went in and had our little free popcorn and watched the movie for a second time without our voices. And you know what? It's actually really good.
Bit of fun.
You haven't seen it?
There was a screening done for us in Melbourne that I was at for a portion of. I had to go and talk to Brendan Favola, though.
Okay.
So I left.
For work?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I haven't seen the movie yet.
It'll be on streaming.
It'll be on
Yeah,
streaming.
about 2 weeks. It'll be on
Check
streaming.
it out. It's
Wait.
actually really
Yeah.
good.
It's good. It's genuinely good.
That was the whole promo. So it's actually really good.
Yeah. Chris Pine, we were talking about that the other day. Chris Pine's had to do in his career 2 of those because he did the Star Trek reboot as well.
Yeah.
So he's had to do 2 campaigns that are like, you'd think this is for nerds, but actually it's for normies. It's normal people would like. It's
That's
also
his,
good.
That's his brand.
That's his brand.
Yeah,
It's
he's the
nerd.
guy they bring in to be like, it's not just for nerds anymore. It's
regular.
got Chris Pine.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's got a bit of that as well. I was like, I thought this would be. It's actually really good.
Chris Pine.
Okay, it's 3 then. That's great. That's
But
great for
2
him.
for sexist.
Can
and
anyone-
1 for, 1 for sexist and 2 for nerds.
Can anyone here in like? I'm going to time it.
Sure.
The answer is no. Whatever it is, I can't do it to time. So
I'm going to give you 3 seconds, right? Someone in 3 seconds, starting shortly, tell me another Chris Pine film.
Hell or High Water.
The one where they're in a computer. What was that one? It just came out.
I don't know.
It's a computer world, and it's
3
Tron.
seconds is gone.
no.
Did you just give away the twist?
Yes.
Is it a computer world?
Yeah.
But don't worry, darling.
Don't worry,
Is it
darling.
a computer world?
Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
I love Hell
That's
or
a
High
great
Water.
movie.
Ben Foster is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm still reeling from the fact that Don't Worry Darling is a computer
It's
world.
a computer
twist.
world. It was like
If I'd known it was computer
What I
world,
think
would have definitely watched it.
What I think
love
what
computer
we think
world.
happened is that initially it wasn't a computer
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
because the movie makes more sense if it wasn't a computer world.
Yeah.
But then clearly somebody's gone, we've done that, and they went, okay, what if computer world? And computer world's more current.
Is it
Yeah.
Stepford
Someone
Wives?
yes.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah,
A computer world.
the computer world.
Yeah.
As someone who was just like watching a bunch of movies from the late 90s. There was a lot of computer world in the late 90s. People think it was
Boy,
just the
was there.
Matrix.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that.
Existence.
Yeah, Existence. And that, But now, Don't Worry Darling enters that.
We did an episode on it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Because we weren't gone here, but then we watched and we're like, that was, okay, we should talk about that. Because there's so many.
It's a 1998 movie.
Yeah, because there's so many hints in it that like something is going on, and it just feels at the end they just went like you said, it's a computer. A computer, probably.
Probably computer. So this is the last little bit. We watched the movie
Oh, yep.
that came out. Kyle MacLachlan was there, and I love Kyle MacLachlan. And
Is
he's
Kyle MacLachlan again?
from
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, right.
and he
And Dune.
And
original
Dune, original Dune, and Sex and the City.
and Sex and the City. And he's probably one of the few. I wouldn't ask many celebrities for a photo, particularly in that setting, but he's one of the few that I was
Yeah.
like, I do want a photo, but my phone had run out of batteries.
No.
I was like, wow. And then 3 different people, which is quite, nice for us. 3 different people. And also because there were a lot of nerds in the audience. 3 different people. I'm a nerd, I can say. You recognised Mark and I from
Yeah.
Aunty Donna and wanted to get a photo with us in the foyer.
Were they like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, we were like, we're in the Australia relationship. Had that interaction so I was doing it.
We're in the pen and I'm secret spiders.
We're not in this one. And we got 3 different photos, and every time it was the funniest thing. Every single photo we got with them, everyone in the foyer would be like, see the photo situation. They'd see someone getting a photo and be like, oh my God, who is it? Like
Yeah.
they would turn to be
Yeah.
like, this is going to be someone famous, see us, and just be like, oh. So on 3, that was the final part of the night, was 3 different occasions of everyone in the foyer looking at us and being so disappointed.
That is, I can see why marketing budgets blow out. Because what an expensive thing for you to not do anything for them. Do you know what I mean? Like they didn't even tee it up so you could get a photo with the cast and put it on your Insta, and then
You
people
could have
are like,
played
"Oh my
Dungeons
God,
and Dragons with the cast of Dungeons and Dragons
Yes.
or something.
There was
Yeah.
a post at some point.
We did a post, and that
Yeah.
post did really well.
Okay, there you go. Then it was worth
And then I think it sold 900,000 more tickets.
Wow.
I read a Hollywood Reporter article where, as they were listing other territories that did better than expected, Australia was.
Well, there you
in.
go.
Exactly.
right. Like,
That's a proven entity then,
Worth
isn't it?
it.
Yeah. I love that.
I was just relieved that it was good.
Yeah.
I'm glad people like it.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to be.
There was a little part of me
That hope it was super bad.
Wanted it to be bad.
like original Dungeons and
but
Dragons.
like, not like average bad, but like awful.
Like ill-advised,
Yes.
because I'm not about bad. I don't believe
Yeah.
in so bad it's good, but I'm a big believer in how did this get made.
Yeah,
talking about
absolutely.
Mario
Yeah.
Big
Brothers.
time.
And I was hoping it would have a bit of that,
Yeah.
and then I watched and I'm like, oh no, it was good.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, so this is not something I could, like 50 years from now, I could have been like, I was in this cooked movie for just in Australia. I was like, oh no, it's good. So
Yeah. Sorry, the dog's come to visit.
I
It's
love
dog
it.
time, everybody.
I
It wouldn't be a podcast without a dog.
Exactly. Anyway, so do you guys mind sticking around for the next segment of the show? It's called What We Reading, What We Gonna Read.
We got to play the theme though.
I don't do that anymore. Collings puts it in the edit, so we've moved on. And also, I don't know if this works anymore. So
Yeah, no, don't touch it.
I could play the letters theme off my phone if you want to.
It's up to you.
I want to sing. What are we reading?
all right, I'll play.
And then one of
Bring
you
it
has,
up.
and then one of you has to whisper
Westworld.
Westworld.
Okay.
I don't really do that anymore, but I'll do it.
Well,
for you.
I can sing it a cappella if you want. I can.
I mean, if you want.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. What are we reading
Westworld
today?
That's for
Great.
you, Broden.
That was in the room. That's really cool. Beautiful.
It was.
Beautiful.
So this is a segment, Zach, because you probably don't know this, where we just talk about things that we've been watching or reading or doing or looking at.
Zach, you don't listen to podcasts, is that right?
I listen to, I don't really listen to many comedy podcasts. So I listen to, because I do comedy, and I feel like the brand of comedy podcast is like you're another person listening. You're in the chat.
Yep.
That's what it is, you know. And because I do that a lot, I do 2 podcasts that are that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like it
a
feels a
busman's
little
holiday.
bit like work. When
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
listening to a comedy podcast or like a chatty podcast, it's like I feel like I've got to be funny. I feel like they're walking the dog and I've got to be like, yeah, and what about this? So I tend to listen to really dry stuff. I'm currently listening to a podcast. I listen to Sean Carroll, Mindscape with Sean Carroll. He's a theoretical physicist, and he just talks to interesting people.
Okay, but what if he had a funny sidekick who was always jumping in saying funny stuff? So
That would be pretty good. You know,
Very
I'm
good,
telling you. I also listened to this architecture one, which is the most
His
boring.
podcasts are 3 hours long a piece.
Yeah, they're huge.
My goodness,
they're huge,
yeah.
and they go and like it's actually really fun because he's a science educator. He is really smart, but the best part is he often gets on like big physicists that aren't educators. All they do is maths, and I get a real thrill and find it really funny when they're trying to like translate these really complicated ideas. They're like, the holographic universe is like, yeah, they end up saying like these really complex physics terms. They're like, and then he's like, "That's okay." It's just an hour of these really smart people trying to dumb stuff down for me and not succeeding.
It's like, I
find it quite
imagine a lot of
comforting.
those guys come in and then they realize midway through the sentence they can only express it through like mathematics.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an equation. They're like, there's no normal way to say any of this. And
They're like, it's wriggling around, but it's really fun. I enjoy it. Anyway, I'm crazy. That's what I listen to.
I'm having a panic attack. I don't think I've watched anything at all.
That's okay.
yeah,
Recently.
sometimes that happens, right?
Yeah.
It's
I thought this is crazy.
yeah.
I didn't realize I was saying the thing I listened to.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing a tangent.
No, you were right on target, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
And I thought I was doing a tangent. I'm like, oh God, I got to get onto something.
No, you were
that
doing
was
it.
the thing I listened
That's right.
to.
You've done it.
And I think that's beautiful. A bit of show and tell. I've been reading this. It's called Reckless. It's by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. It's a comic book.
Hardcover.
So people might know Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. They do a lot of like crime comic books. They did They created the Winter Soldier for Marvel.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of. They have a series called Criminal. But this is like.
I didn't know you brought in.
Usually
Sometimes.
I don't,
Sometimes.
Usually I don't, but I'm like, I'll do show and tell today.
Yeah.
But this is about a character called Ethan Reckless, and he's sort of like it's set in the 80s. He's sort of like a pulp.
Yeah,
he's sort of been built to be like the classic pulp action hero. So he's like Parker from Payback, or like the Executioner, or something like that. He's a guy with a checkered past, and he lives in an abandoned movie theater. And he's got a number of people call if they're in trouble, and he kind of helps them out.
The whole thing has a Mad Max vibe looking.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's one of the most. I'm glad you did show and tell because to explain, it's one of the most baller cover images.
Right.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But So Ed Brubaker.
Is that the entire run?
No, there's like 4 more.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get more. So
4 more big issues? Like
four
like
more of these. Yeah.
Compendiums?
But Brubaker and Sean Phillips have done a bunch of stuff. They have a long-running series called Criminal, which is like about a
Criminal's
family of
great.
criminal. There's The Fade Out, which is about like a murder mystery in the golden age of Hollywood. Kill or Be Killed, which is about a guy who has to kill people for the devil.
Or be killed, I
Can
guess.
I
Or be
ask,
killed, yeah.
is this like an example of the genre, or is it a play on the genre? Do you know what I'm saying there?
Oh, like is it self-aware?
Is it within the genre, or is it more like a exploration of the genre?
I think it's well within the genre.
Yeah, cool.
So it's like
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to sit here in silence as Zach reads the book.
That's the thing. That's the thing about doing it show and tell style, especially if there's a guest. You just pass the thing around and people go, "Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, that's pretty good, isn't it?"
We do like a comic book thing behind a paywall, but we could never
Big
describe
sandwich.
art. Big sandwich, that's right. we're just like it's good and it's kind of real. Like it looks
Looks real.
You know,
It's a guy, and he looks like the guy most of the time.
Sometimes like this was more cartoon than real. Like we're just really bad at it. But a Succession. I've been watching Succession. If anybody's been watching, there was a big twist. I don't want to spoil it if you don't know the twist.
I think I saw it.
Yeah.
I think some
the
asshole
second it happened.
organization did an article about it and made it the headline.
Yeah, they
I'm
did.
really upset about that. And there was what's the word, like recourse about them choosing to do that. And
Yeah.
it was a real point by that organization to be pricks about it.
Yeah, they went out of their way the
Yeah.
second it happened.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it spoils like the episode.
No.
Like, yeah, so, it's more kind of like how it plays out and whatever. But it certainly was a wow.
This is the last season.
Yeah.
I never
This is
watched. I still haven't seen Game of Thrones, right? So I missed Red Wedding.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was my Red Wedding.
Yeah,
This
right,
was
yeah.
and I was so lucky because usually I'm about a week behind, but I just happened to have that morning off when it came out. I saw someone being like, wow. And I was like, I'm not going to go on social media. I'm going to go watch this. And I got to experience the shock of it. And
Yeah.
I think it's the first time in a long time where I've
That's cool.
gotten to experience the shock of an episode. It's a good
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Succession.
It's pretty good.
That's great.
People like it.
Yeah, yeah.
But now you know the twist, so there's
I do.
probably
It's
no
true.
point. Yeah.
No, but
No, there is a twist.
There's lots of twists.
a lot of twists.
You don't know
Twist,
exactly.
twist.
I love because we both read the same article recently about the Murdoch family.
Oh, yeah.
And how, there's so much stuff in it about that relates to Succession, but something specifically is Jerry Hall in her divorce contract with Rupert Murdoch wasn't allowed to sell any stories to the writers of Succession. Like that was
What
part
does
of,
Rupert Murdoch have to do with Succession?
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Because I know that Binge is owned by Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, that's
where
part of
you
it.
can
Yeah,
watch
that's-
Succession in
yeah, that comes
Australia.
up. Yeah.
That was always I always was like, I hope they get to a point where they make an episode where someone starts making a show about their life and you think it's going to be really bad for them, and then the twist at the end is they end up buying it and screening it in their home country. Like they end up profiting from the show about them.
Incredible. Well, look, guys, we can leave it here, so you can go to a different place if you want, or we can record a video after this if you want to be in a video.
What video?
It'll probably be like a Fast and Furious quiz if you
Oh,
want to
we would
see.
love
Yeah, I love a bit of Fast and
Okay, cool.
Furious.
Well, we'll
Yeah,
do that
that's
then.
great.
But again, Aunty Donna's Coffee Cafe.
Yeah.
It's on ABC iView. You can watch it on a VPN. That's me saying that. They've left the room.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere else in the world,
no.
it's well worth it.
Are you sponsored by that?
Yeah.
Who are you sponsored by?
You guys gave me
Nord?
Yeah, Nord.
Express
What
sometimes?
have we got? at the
Express
moment?
VPN.
I don't know because I've
we
stopped.
play two
Hello
against
Fresh.
each other.
Yeah.
That's right.
You stream it with
Hello
Fresh.
VPN. That's right.
I've stopped doing YouTube ads because they're annoying.
Yes.
And
you don't like getting random emails from people you're not sure are real or fake?
Well, there's that, and the ones that I do, they're like, "Can you do this?" And I'll say it and record it and send it to them, and they're like, "You said this, can you say that?" I'm like, you told me to say that, and then I'll have to redo it and what. It's not, look, it's nothing work for stupid money, but it's annoying.
Whenever we do ad reads for things, whenever I record for GTA or something like that, I'll read it just flat, and they'll get notes saying, "It sounds like Broden's making fun of the product," and then I'll do it again and go, "No, he's making fun." I'm like, "Make Zach do it. I can't do this."
But then I go, this is my problem, is I try, I've fully abandoned trying to make it conversational. I just go full, this is an exciting new product from I go full 90s announcer with my
Because
ad reads
sometimes
now.
they're like, make it your own, but it's like this is such a niche problem.
Do not mean that.
Yeah,
No,
you don't know what our own is.
Yeah. Well, I did a PlayStation one, and they were like, pick 2 PlayStation games that you can talk about and write like a little script. I'm like, sure, whatever. I'm happy to do it. And I picked, I can't remember, it was Spider-Man and another one. And I wrote the thing and I recorded it. And they're like, great. And then they came back and they said, yeah, not that one. And I'm like, well, just tell me which ones to talk about. Talk about it. Like, if I said I'll do it. Like, I'll do the version that you want to do. If I didn't want to do it, I would just say I don't want to do it.
Who's bringing this episode to us?
I have no idea. I don't know if we have one.
I just remembered I haven't expressed an opinion on Aunty Donna's Coffee Cafe.
Oh,
yet
yeah,
this
go on.
episode. I thought it was very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And here's a backhanded compliment. So I saw the first two. I saw the first 2 episodes at the screening. You guys were nice enough to invite me to the screening at the Astor Theatre. And the thing about the show is it's probably not the ideal show to see with a giant crowd because there's so many jokes in it that everybody's still laughing at one joke and the next one's
Or
coming.
different
and I'm
things
like,
as
what?
well.
What was the joke? Wind it back a bit.
That's nice.
Play it again.
Yeah.
It's like seeing Superbad at the cinema.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
One of my favorite laughing things in them. Yeah. No, but thank you. That's very nice. Thank you for coming.
show.
Thank you for watching. What was your favorite bit of this? Have you?
I like the real
Yeah, it's
estate
like-
episode and the whole thing. I know you've done a skit on the real estate.
Oh, I love the
We're going to go on for the rest of our lives.
the Blueberry Bandit. Is
Oh,
one of
yeah.
my-
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's Patrick from Hot Department.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Those guys are great.
Oh, cool.
I really liked also that you sitting in on the Bucks weekend or Bucks night. It's
real, isn't it?
I've just been in that room and
Yeah.
knowing you, this guy's got a pink helmet or whatever, and having that conversation about what do you do
Yeah.
and whatever. And
That whole episode is based off our director Max Miller's literal bucks and or stag or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Literally, we went to go-karts.
Yep.
Then
Yeah,
we
I've been
went
to one of those, yeah.
Then we
That's
went
great.
to Holy Moly mini golf, and then we went to, I think we had Chinese for dinner, and then went to a whiskey bar, and then went bowling. And it's just like meeting people in other boring jobs for 6 hours.
So many scheduled activities. And the best part was, my favorite part of going back to bowling is like those scheduled activities are about breaking the ice. The ice was broken. I'd made friends, and then we had to go back into scheduled activity.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go bowling?
It hits a point where it's like, we can just hang out.
I'm good now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
met like your wife's second cousin. It turns out we both like brutalist architecture. What a twist. Let's talk about that. We're good. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, I loved it. All of it.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Oh, and Vidya's great as
Yes.
as
the nameless
local,
one.
the local nerd who's so upsetting. She's got too many novelty leggings and
Yeah.
outfits.
Yeah, she really took that to town. She's like, when we pitched the idea to her, she's like, oh, yes. Let me, fedora, yes. She loved that, yeah.
The makeup's good as well. There's a few like spooky
Incredible.
characters
Yeah,
in it
yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. Like the pop up.
Liz Sharp, the makeup director of this, is a gun and lots of prosthetics and cool things like
there's
that.
a lot of it's very because I think it's that big thing with sketch, particularly in Australia. You know, when I remember I said very early on, I was like, we need a good budget for hair and makeup, like better than you think, because even though what we're doing isn't sketch, it's a narrative sitcom. There's lots of people playing multiple characters, so there's sort of a necessity for wigs and makeup to make people look different. And it's like there's this expectation. I was just like, it has to look good because sometimes people are just like, oh, chuck them in a wig. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want that chuck them in a wig look.
Absolutely.
So that's very cool
Yeah.
that you said that. Yeah, she's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming. It's all linked below.
welcome.
Yeah. I just gave you a look. It's like, stop it. Yeah.
Cheeky mate.
Check it all out. Wow, the letter segment. I wish. Oh, wait, we don't need to wish, Mason.
Yes,
We
why's
made
that?
it. We made it to the letter segment.
Oh, that's so true. It's coming up right now. And as if by magic, the theme song is going to present itself just like this.
Okay.
Oh, it didn't work. Just scroll for some reason.
This is the worst kind of magic. Breaks the illusion.
No, James. At the end, you're going to be like, oh my God, that worked perfectly. You thought he was a stumbling boob, but actually, alakazam. you know?
Alakazam, etc.
That's right. And
Okay.
The classic one was.
Wow.
Letters,
Alakazam,
letters,
boom.
We love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
We're going to hear right now. We're going to do letters. And that's the Prestige.
No, it's not.
It was.
Prestige was a movie.
It was. The real me's dead.
Christian Bale was in
Fell
it.
into a tank of water. I've been doing this for years. Don't look under the desk.
Some pile of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Am I the real me or a clone me? I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't care
Mason,
either.
It's the letter segment.
I did for a while. This is existentially terrifying, but then I'm like, nah, who cares? It's fine, I guess.
I've always been here and I
Yeah.
always will be.
And I'm always tired. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. If you do want to reach the show, it's quite easy. All you can do is hashtag weeklyplanetpod on Twitter or weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
What do you have in the Gmail today?
Here's an email from Rain.
Ray.
Question: Are there any movies you've avoided on principle? For example, I've never watched Galaxy Quest, even though I've never heard anything bad about it. I just have no desire to seek it out, no matter how great it sounds.
It is
Love
great.
the pod from Rain. I mean, Rain has said, "Are there any movies you've avoided watching on principle?" Then they've like, "I've never watched Galaxy Quest just because." I don't know if that's a principle, but I love it.
But is that like a anti-sci-fi Star Trek kind of thing?
Oh, it might be an anti-sci-fi Star Trek thing. Yeah.
I mean, I think you could enjoy Galaxy Quest even if you don't like any of that stuff. I mean,
yeah.
this person, Rain, is not going to see it now based on us
true.
saying it, I assume, if they've got this far in life.
Yeah.
But maybe you should see Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's a
I mean, we
good
don't know
fun
how
movie.
far they've gotten in life. Maybe they're a newborn baby.
That's true.
Yeah.
And this email, maybe they've watched it since then.
These are all great points, actually. Yeah.
Is there a movie you've never watched out of, like, principle?
I'll never. I don't watch anything too gross and grisly.
But for no reason? Kind
I
of
just don't want to be grossed out.
Okay. Did you watch that Terrifier thing, though?
No, I'd never watched Terrifier. I don't think I
Okay.
could.
Yeah,
It's-
right.
yeah.
Too gross and greasy?
Yeah. I'll be thinking about
Greasly?
it. Too gross and greasy. There's also a famous movie called Salo, 100 Days of Sodom, which is like it's about fascism and aristocrats that are all into like weird torture and all this sort of stuff, and it's like an iconic, an iconic piece of
heard of
filmic art. Salo, S-A-L-O.
S-A-L-O, okay.
And I'm never going to watch that. 'Cause
Okay.
it's,
Sounds good.
now it seems gross. Like the artistic merit in this instance is irrelevant to me because I'm like, now that seems gross. Actually,
93. It's from a while ago. There you go. I'm also like, I don't like,
oh, that might be a remake then. Isn't it?
yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't like torture porn either. Like,
yeah.
But it's not, again, it's not a principle thing. It's like, I just don't want to see it for no reason, I guess. Like, I don't mind like gore and stuff, but it kind of has to, it can't be the only thing.
That's true. Yeah.
Just like, I don't want to watch just people being tortured. I don't need to see that,
Yeah. I only want to watch brands I recognize.
Exactly.
That's right.
It's our favorite thing that we love.
That's right.
Yeah. Good question, though. I'm trying to think. Principled Stand.
I mean, I'll
I'm
never
sure when I
rewatch
was-
The Principal.
Very good. I'm sure when I was younger, people were like, you got to watch. White Chicks. There's one.
Okay. Right.
I remember someone told me in 2008 who I was living with, it was like a housemate's cousin or whatever, said that you need to be more open-minded and watch the movie White Chicks.
Huh.
And I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Not because of that, but I'm like, but it's like a broad comedy. Like I wouldn't consider that.
No, that's true.
Like,
yeah.
like it's not going to open my mind to anything,
I mean, the principle I think you live by is spite.
Yeah.
The principle of spite. If somebody will tell you to do something, you will not do it. So if you want James to not watch your movie, tell him to watch
Tell
it.
me to watch it. Yeah. No, I don't. No, it depends. If someone was like, "Oh, you should see this thing. I think you'd like it." I'm not going to be like, "No,
No.
fuck you." But if they're like, you should watch it because, for whatever reason,
Nice.
the reason I said before, then.
Yeah.
But I can't even think of another example. There you go. Should I watch the movie White Chicks, Mason?
Yeah.
I'll never watch it.
Wow.
Yeah. Go on though. Oh, no, I've got one.
You sure do.
Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod.
Wow, that was unprofessionalism worthy of me.
I agree.
Just then.
This actually, you probably saw this tweet from Sleepy Michu, who says, I love the Weekly Planet because you stop paying attention for like 2 seconds and suddenly Wikipedia Brown, that's you, is playing a character called Mechanic Palpatine or something.
That is true. What's he say? What's Palpatine say? He says stuff.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Witness the firepower of this fully operational Subaru WRX.
Nice.
Something like that,
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do it.
No, you've done it already. Oh, I like that.
You like that?
That
I
would
did
be
the
fully,
work?
that would be fully operational. That Subaru WRX. It's great.
Right. Well, if inspiration strikes, feel free to swing on around to Mechanic Palpatine.
I'll never do Mechanic Palpatine on principle, but Principal Palpatine.
Oh, that's interesting. Go on.
How's everything going in class?
It's fine.
Good to hear.
This feels more Obi-Wan than
yeah.
You're doing the fingers, but
Yeah.
it's not enough.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
got to be more kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
You should work on it.
I won't. I will never work on it.
This one's from Aaron Alice.
Oh, yes.
Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod, who says, with D&D's surge in popularity, what are the chances you'll do a campaign on Big Sandwich a la do go on D&D? I love the D&Ds for James and Mace's episodes on Dragon Friends and Dice Paper Roll and also Sans Pants. I love the pod. Keep up the great work. I mean, yeah, we've thought about it.
Have
but
we?
Haven't we been like, we should probably do D&D at some point, I guess?
Have we?
Yeah, probably.
All right, then. Just the two of us?
No, we need a third and fourth person probably. Yeah, would you do it?
Sure.
Yeah, I probably would. I think we'd probably put on...
With this surge of popularity, and this is a brand we recognize.
And you could also do one of your famous characters like Palpatine's the principal or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. He'd be like...
Witness the firepower of this fully operational...
Classroom.
Exactly. I was going to say assembly hall. Or
Oh,
something.
that'd be good. Yes. Very good.
sports shed with all the equipment.
Yeah, that's
with
right.
all the jump ropes.
But he wouldn't be involved in the day-to-day because he's the principal.
No, you got to be involved in everything as the principal.
Okay,
it's a
all
very
right.
difficult job, and I would never do it. Yeah, I hope. I had a dream I was a teacher last night. It was terrible.
Wow.
Yeah. Mason, what's next?
Well, here's an email from John.
John?
That's right. Hey guys, at the time of writing, I've not yet seen Renfield. I'm sure it's great. I wanted to ask you both, are there too many movies with Draculas in them right now?
Good question.
Because there's quite a few. In 2021 and 2022, we had Blood Red Sky, Morbius, and Day Shift. Now there's Renfield. The trailer for The Last Voyage of Demeter was just released. There's a Dracula movie in development that might be directed by Chloe Zhao. A Nosferatu movie by Robert Eggers. That's
And that's
been
gonna have
on
Willem Dafoe in it
That's
as well?
been on the boil for years.
Yeah.
And Blade, plus a bunch of other stuff, I'm sure. Anyway, my question is, should they stop making Draculas?
They all sound very different, though. I think
That's
it's
true.
fine. I think
yeah.
you know, there's a lot of variety in what you can do with a Dracula in different eras and
That's
whatnot.
true, yeah.
So I've seen and enjoyed some of those, and some of the upcoming
yeah.
ones I also think I could enjoy.
What about
and see.
Dracula 2000 remake?
I've never seen Dracula 2000 remake. Have you?
Well, what doesn't exist? I'm saying they could do a remake of
I
Dracula
haven't seen
2000.
it, Mason.
Okay,
I
all
couldn't
right.
tell you what it was like.
Well, it doesn't exist.
That's what I'm telling
doesn't
you.
exist. So I'm
Yeah.
just saying there should be a remake.
What
of
if
that.
Palpatine, but he was a Dracula, Mason? Here we go.
Yes.
It's good.
Right?
I've got a tweet here from Nate Harris who says, #WeeklyPlanetPod, John Wick, Dungeons & Dragons, and Super Mario Bros. Coming out back to back to back, 3 great movies in a row for what feels like the first time in a long time. So how do you feel about that? Do you think we're having a bit of a good run at the moment of movies this year? I feel like there's been some good big hits.
Absolutely, yeah.
and stuff that's happened, which is really nice.
Yeah. Look, and again, I'm happy people enjoyed Mario, but for me, that was the maybe the
Yeah, out of
biggest
those,
dip
that's
for
the-
me
that's a
personally.
dip,
But
yeah.
man, like John Wick 4 was great.
Yeah.
Etc.
Dungeons & Dragons will never get a sequel now because it's not doing well.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah, so
That's a
you know,
shame.
that is a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it's good to see good things though. But even Mario wasn't like fucking disgusting. You know, it was like, yeah,
it was not atrocious.
No.
Yeah.
exactly. Anything else, Mason?
Oh, here's an email from Spike.
Spike.
Yeah, that's right. First time emailer, long time listener. You've helped me through a lot of tough times in my life, from being in high school into finally applying for university for a film production course.
Woo!
That's right. My question is this. I've been rewatching the John Wick films, and I'm wondering if you can think off the top of your head any movies that repaired an iconic movie duo. Obviously, I'm thinking of Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne, but can you think of any others?
John Wick, Lawrence Fishburne, repairing. Well, we talked about this earlier, but The Sting and Butch Cassidy.
That's right.
That's a repairing, isn't it?
That is.
So it cannot be a sequel. It has to be these two people were in a thing and now they're in another thing.
That's right, yes.
God damn. That's
But
tough.
yeah, you're right. Butch Cassidy, so Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful team up.
Iconic duos. How do you Google this?
Iconic
Reunite.
acting duos. Yeah, I guess, sure. Again, I've said this before. I think there should be more of these pairings. I think,
What about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon?
wonderful, wonderful. I mean, they're back for air,
That's what I'm
aren't they?
saying, man.
They're back for air. What a wonderful duo.
What a wonderful duo.
Oh my God. They could repair for just, endless brands.
It's true.
Stories of brands.
Stories of
They
brands.
could bring them back. Because I'm sure a lot of brands had 2 guys behind them.
No doubt.
Movement watches, James. They could come back. They could come back and tell the story of movement watches about 2. They could come back and just endless podcast sponsorship origin stories about 2 guys who got sick of the middleman.
They wanted to cut out the middleman
That's
and
right.
make
Who could
premium
be
watches.
so it could be Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Who could be the middleman? Who's a guy that would be
Exactly.
who'd be a good foil for them every time?
Someone who's always kind of like, give me a bit of that.
yeah, just a real one of those
Paul
guys.
Giamatti.
Yeah, like a real Paul.
Jeremy Piven.
Yes. Give me
rub.
some of that.
And at the end, they dump a bucket of paint on him or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they get
be
out of
perfect.
there. Here's a pairing.
But so go ahead.
Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler.
That's true.
I mean, sure, they're not in. They've done 3 rom-coms together, and one of them is good.
That's right.
The first one, and 50 First Dates is weird. Here's one that you love. Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, of
They
course.
reunited for Men in Black
International.
Europe or whatever.
The one that was no good.
The one that was. Do you know what nearly happened?
Go on.
What was it? It was Tim Allen and Tom Hanks were nearly in the Jungle Cruise movie. I think that was the initial idea.
Oh, wow.
That they were the jungle boat captains.
Okay.
So
And
that's
look, I've
fun.
said this before, but I quite like The Rock and Ryan Reynolds doing their thing.
Yeah, sure.
You know, Red Notice, obviously, we also Red Notice and loved it. But I would love to see them reteamed again. I think that'd be cool.
Well, they were Hobbs and Shaw, weren't they?
They were in Hobbs and Shaw.
They were in Hobbs and Shaw. What about this one? Meg Ryan and Thomas Hankstaffer.
That's true.
That's a good one.
See, these are bring back these duos.
I agree.
What was the one you said earlier? After Butch Cassidy?
Butch Cassidy, Adam Sandler. Sorry, the dog is trying to get
Before that.
in. Chris Hemsworth, that one.
Yes. I would love to see that Hemsworth and Thompson in
They've
something,
been in like 4 movies together.
something
already.
else, though. I think they work well together, and I would love to see them in more movies.
What about
just a
Julia-
regular movie about regular people?
What about Julia Roberts and, what's his name, George Clooney?
Oh, yeah.
They recently did a movie together.
That's
a
true.
rom-com, getting up to see what the dog's doing.
Okay. Probably nonsense.
What about Ke Huy Quan and Harrison Ford when they hugged that time recently?
That's right.
And then they were in that movie together.
They could just do a series of hugs. I think
Just
that'd
a
be
big hugs
beautiful, you know,
together.
in different environments.
Exactly.
Paris hug, New York hug,
New York City, baby.
shopping center hug.
What about Ryan Reynolds and, oh no, they're not, and I was going to say Hugh Jackman, but they just do social media things.
That's
don't
right.
they? They don't
And quite
actually-
frankly, I'm sick to death of it.
Stop doing that.
If they could be an iconic duo that stops being an iconic duo. No, but I mean, I would like to see them in an actual movie together. I mean, I know
Well, they
were-
are. They
I
are.
mean,
You're in luck, Mason.
in Wolverine Origins, not
Yeah.
that one, a different movie.
Is Emma Stone with Ryan Gosling in more than one movie? Because they seem like they're always hanging out.
La La Land?
Yeah. Emma Stone.
I was going to say The Notebook, but that was Rachel McAdams, wasn't it?
Movies. Yeah, that's right. Oh, they were in Gangster Squad together and Crazy Stupid Love. I knew it, Mason. Gangster Squad, who cares? But those other two, they've got excellent chemistry. And that's cool. So there you go. There's some iconic duos.
More
for you.
iconic duos than you'd think. I think they should reteam Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss for something.
Yeah, they could do a Matrix movie again.
No, I don't want that. I want a
and they
different
could be in the future.
a
where
different
they
movie.
repaired and then Keanu Reeves has big push powers and he goes, ugh.
I don't like
and,
that.
and someone goes,
That sounds bad. To me, that sounds very
no, I think
bad.
it'd be very meta.
It sounds very bad in a way that in 10 years I might look back and go, oh, that was pretty good actually. I don't know.
When the action's probably not, it didn't hold
probably
up.
probably has deeper levels of meaning.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that I would think about that in 10 years.
Well, I think maybe you'll look back and think it was always not that good, Mason.
Good.
Yeah,
That seems to require less thinking, so I'll go with that one.
cool. Any other iconic duos?
No, but I love all those duos.
Me too.
Email in, folks, with your iconic duos or tweet at us. We're more likely to see it because there's less spam.
And you can't say us, even though we know it already.
That's right.
Yeah, you know? We're flattered, but that's lazy thinking. You gotta think beyond that, you know? Yeah. Anything else, Mason?
That's the whole show, I think.
Wow!
Thanks to the Aunty Donna boys for coming in, if in fact they did. We recorded this in advance, and what if they cancel tomorrow?
We don't
And what
know.
do we do? What do we do?
This is the show then.
That's
This
the
is whole
show.
thing, yeah. Just a reminder that our Resident Evil commentary is now up at bigsandwich.co. If you are interested, we Resident Evil commentary, the first Resident Evil. Good movie.
I'm very interested.
You were there, yeah. Yeah, cool,
pretty
cool.
good.
Good movie? Movie.
It was undeniably a movie.
Great stuff.
Back
Mason.
in the day when movies were like real movies, you know?
Ah, it's like a real movie. I think I do have a line like that at one point where I'm like, look, it's a real corridor and
It's
like I got caught in this moment of like, look at these stacked up some boxes and everything.
They've really done it. They have gone above and beyond. They've gone the extra mile. This is cinema, my friends.
right.
They've stacked those boxes like Martin Scorsese himself. You know, he probably did a once over in that set. They brought him in and he just nudged one of the boxes over slightly, and they're like, "Thank you, Marty."
God, how does he do it?
That's incredible.
Pure art to Stree.
Did you see what is it? Killers of the Flower Moon is going to be 3 hours and 54 minutes.
Yeah, I did see that. Why not?
Why not?
He's $1 million. Let's
Yeah.
make a 4-hour movie.
Yes.
Fuck it. Why not? DiCaprio and who else is in that one image they've released where he's like, he looks like a frog. He's like,
It's just that. It's 4 hours of them shuffling around a room. I don't know, a lady. Some lady. And good on her, I think.
Good on him, yeah.
Could be anybody. Could be Frances McDormand. Could be Rachel McAdams.
Killers
I don't know.
of the Flower Moon. What is it about? Let me just... Oh, Brendan Fraser's in it. That's cool. Members of an oil-wealthy Osage nation are murdered under mysterious circumstances in the 20s. Well, that sounds
God.
fun.
Oh, my God.
Good cast, though. De Niro's in it. God, imagine if Robert De Niro was played by Emperor Palpatine.
Now, see, that's all face. Because it's like, you know,
Are you talking to me?
love it. Nice.
Don't make me go raging bull on you. You're welcome. You got one?
I'm just a taxi driver.
Ridiculous show, Mason. Ridiculous, and it's just
Disagree.
it's just not good.
Iconic, I think. We're an iconic brand now.
That I like.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We're a brand you recognize.
Oh, I saw this thing just quickly on Reddit. Somebody put, what's a good podcast to listen to? And there was like thousands of comments, but a bunch of people put our,
Thousands of comments about us?
I don't know if it was thousands. It was at least dozens. So I appreciate
that. I love that about us.
Yeah.
And the listeners.
I agree. All right, should we move it along?
Folks, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. 1 billion trillion %.
Billion times.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I genuinely have lost the thread. It's early in the morning, and by early I mean it's 2 p.m. I've not been awake for a very long time. Folks, we appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing to the podcast. Thank you for telling your friends about the podcast.
That's right.
Because that is how we get more listeners. And thank you for leaving a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. James, I wonder, does he have some there?
Got a couple here from Jared Watts, who gave us 5 stars in-app. Just use your app of choice, Mason. He says, how many times do I need to watch Snake Eyes? Love the pod and everything that comes with it, but I can't help question if we'll ever get our review. There is a window next week.
That
We're
is
going to
true.
talk about the new Evil Dead movie and then the movie Snake Eyes.
That's right.
This one is from Woo Back Baby 31, who says 5 stars. Did you know you can leave a review in app? This is the best damn podcast for comic book movie news. I listen to these guys so much that my inner monologue is Australian.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good stuff.
Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Bandcamp. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. You can go to the Weekly Planet subreddit and Discord if you want to have fun chats about podcasting and pop culture.
Woo.
It's all over there. There's so many members. You can have a great old time. You can meet some new friends on the internet.
Tell them what's
And when
up.
has that ever been a bad thing, meeting strangers on the internet? Never. Never.
Never,
You're absolutely
ever.
Right. If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies to chuck in $1 or any amount you would not miss. Or if you're a big spender, you go to bigsandwich.co for $9 per month. You get bonus podcast, movie
very
commentaries,
reasonable.
early videos. You get a ad-free podcast feed. You get a Let's Plays. You get all sorts of stuff. If you want to follow some people on the internet, you can first follow our friend Rob Collins. He's at Raw Collins on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. You can follow both of those if you want. All updates on our socials and all the stuff we're getting up to and all funny little edits and little thingy-majiggies and so forth and little bits of magic.
Bits and bobs.
You can also follow me at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter and Nick Maso on Instagram. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere. We've got a TikTok as well, right?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Follow the TikTok.
It's doing okay from my understanding. And that's
well, I
cool.
think it'd probably do better if we mentioned it ever.
No, TikTok does its own thing. I have no idea how it works. And
Okay,
I don't
great.
know if you can affect TikTok externally.
What do you think we are? You think we're Weekly Planet Pod on TikTok?
Don't know.
Great question.
I
isn't
pop
it?
in every now
We
and
might be
then.
the Weekly Planet.
We might just be. The important thing is that it happens.
That's right. Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes. T-shirts, you get them at tpublic.com, as well as other things, I think. You probably get the logo on one of those things, you stubby holder.
No, the stubby holder, whatever.
Yeah, a bag or
That's it.
something. Tote
Yeah.
bag. Probably a tote bag.
Probably a tote bag.
Tote bag.
Totes bag.
Totes bag.
Totes bag. Next week, as mentioned, Snake Eyes and the other thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But yeah.
What a week it's going to be.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
That's right. Grab that jam, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
What would Palpatine say, though? What would he say?
See you next Tuesday. Because he's rude, Mason.
Wow, okay.
Rude
All right.
and mean.
Yeah,
Are there
okay.
Tuesdays in the Star Wars universe?
Probably.
What other days of the week? They're probably called like blocks and then 7 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'm really going. But unless you have something to say. Do you have something to say?
Wow, it's Hump Bloxton, they would say.
Oh,
Thank
really?
God I've got my calf, they would say. No, that's the whole show, I reckon. Just hit the button.
I hit the right button.
Love it. Okay, remember that button next time.
I will. It's the orange one.